Oh fuck, I'm stupid. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another week of EAL the European Amateur League. My name is Diamond, and tonight I'll be casting Eurogames together with Cookie. And we hope for some real nice games. First game coming up: Cosmic Transcendence versus the Wild Panthers. Okay.
Yes, and both teams are at the very top of Group B. Well, they're both top six in Group B right now. Transcendence going 9-3, and Wild Panther Nemesis are going 8-4. So they are very close in terms of a position in Group B. So very important match for both if they want to go into have a better matchup in the playoffs.
Yeah, certainly. Uh, let's just kick this off. Who do you think is the favorites for this game? Since they're both at the top, this is not a like David versus Goliath matchup. Who would you favor in this case? Just going off of what you've seen on PGG and the last few weeks of games.
I would say Cosmic Transcendence have a better chance. They are a more um, well, the organization has been here for quite a few times, so I have seen them in the EAL quite long, so they will be performing better in these higher stakes matches, I assume. And in terms of OPGs, I think individual players, CTR does have a slight bit of disadvantage to see, but actually a lot of players here on the OPGGs do not have any games played in this season. A lot of them kind of just retired after playing some games from last season. So very hard to see exactly where their individual skills are at a very moment. And I think picks and bans also matter a lot as well. So have to see what these two teams drop, because I would assume them to try their very best and probably just play their most comfortable comms from the games they've played this season.
Right, we have some changes on the side of Cosmic Transcendence, of course, with Marcus not playing this week. Instead, okay, should I try pronouncing it? I have no idea how to actually pronounce it.
Please go for it. Go for it.
Okay, let me give this a try. Where is it? It is Hevesta Fugel? I guess?
Yeah, that's better than what I would have done.
Oh god. Okay. Yeah. So I don't have a lot of data on that player, mainly because their OPGG didn't work. So I actually have no idea how they fare. But going to this first game, we already got we're already preparing for the draft. If both teams are ready, they are free to go.
Yes, and one thing to note is that Wild Panther and Nemesis are on the red side this game, and Cosmic Transcendence will be on the blue side, and also Wild Panther's Nemesis will be losing a ban. Um, I am not privy to what reasons they lost a ban, but I just know that they lost a ban for this game.
Usually it's either from not sending rosters early enough, or something like that. It's in some rare cases, we had some moments where there were offensive behavior towards players, but I don't think that's the case in this one. Uh,
I wouldn't say that it limits. I guess it does limit Wild Panther Nemesis' ability to ban out key champions a lot, because even though on Cosmic Transcendence side they don't have, say, well, champions that they only play, so they're not one-trick ponies, but they do have champions they prefer. So, for example, Kasa does really like the Jin, and also in I would say semi-favorable spot in the meta right now, where it's a bit tuned down from earlier, since the the nerf to the Gale Force and also just few adjustments. But Jhin, I think, is quite a strong champion that they might want to ban, but might due to the loss of ban, maybe they would say, oh, we would just not ban AD carries, we would just ban something else. So maybe Kai'Sa gets a bit more freedom in that regard.
I'm actually thinking because like we just had a like semi big patch with the 80 carry like builds that go for Infinity Edge, receiving a slight like late game buff with by losing some AD but actually getting some like crit enhancement buff. Also, that's maybe like influence some of the builds we'll see today. Also,
Yes.
which is kind of confusing sometimes. Currently, is like we get a new rank. We now have Emerald for some
Yes, we do
reason,
have
which
Emerald.
is just Platinum Prestige, or the shitty version of Diamond. It depends on
Yeah.
how you look
So
at it.
yes, I have. Not good enough for diamond, but a bit better than the plat scrubs that
Yeah,
the other one is. I wouldn't pay too much attention to it. I
of
think it's
course.
just to combat a bit of rank inflation. Just to add something in between, make sure that when you tell some people that you're diamond, it should mean something. It should
Yeah,
mean
but
something.
there's a big difference between Diamond 1 and Diamond 4, and we all know
Yes,
that.
it still exists. It still exists even with the new rank introduced. I'm pretty sure. But, um, well, I guess it just makes diamond a bit. Well, you feel better if you actually reach it. It's still an achievement. I think still only around. I think before the changes, there's like 2% of the player base get to diamond, where 1% of the player base is actually sitting in diamond 4. Um, but I think hopefully after the changes, there will only be like say 1% of players in diamond, and you can say, "Oh, I'm in the top 1%." It just sounds so much better, right?
I mean, it does, but in league, it's the top 1%. Yeah, it feels a lot better. There are other games where those percentages are very inflated, but I think in league in this case it's fine to say that. Okay, as we get ready and go right into the draft. CTR versus WPN. CTR banning out the Kai'Sa as the first pick.
Yeah, Kai'Sa is one of the premier AD carries in both Summon's Rift and also 2v2 Arena, if any of you want to play that.
Oh yeah,
Aurelia
yeah. I
banned
have. I
from
have. She's a nightmare, just like Kane.
Aurelia banned from Wild Panther Nemesis. It should be the directed ban against the CTR top laner.
Yeah,
Nothing
we
too much
we
to say.
saw last week what happens if you do not ban out John Phobos. Irelia, you have a very crude awakening on your third wave, because Irelia just all ins you and just wins.
Yeah, that's classic Aurelia. And also we see two support bans. Well, I say support, two
Support.
enchanters banned.
There's
Just on
your
both
second
sides.
support ban.
Yep, there it is. We have Rakan, Zyra, and Ivan both all taken out. Ivan, I guess quite a versatile pick, since it's an invention to play Ivan in a top lane. We also see the Maokai ban, another one in the jungle, which is
Okay,
very
let's see
strong right
that.
now in
Let's see
meta.
that first pick. Very safe AD carry. Like right out of the gate, we go for Zaya. Probably not gonna be a full engage comp in this case then.
Yeah, Saya always likes to play kiting back and making use of the ultimate and the feathers. Um,
It's actually kind of surprised because they banned out Rakan, so no Zaya
yeah,
Rakan.
yeah. So they just don't want the Rakan to be on the enemies on Wild Final Nemesis side, and they'll be responding with Tristana. Tristana, pretty much a a flex pick, really. A lot
Yeah,
of times we see it
mid
played
lane.
in the mid lane. Really terrible. Oh, pair with the
That
Braum.
is
This is spicy.
okay. That makes Tristana even more of a flex pick, with Brown being more of the disengage and Tristana just likes to jump in and more or less die. Or I guess you have the Bram to save her in case that
I would
happens.
actually argue that it's like Lucian Brom, but
Uh,
it's kind of on the same idea
but with
where
a little
you
more
try to
range.
a little more range and not as strong early game, but maybe I'll be proven wrong.
That's
We
Rel.
still Rel getting picked as well from CTR.
Hmm. Rel into Brome. And
Boring.
that's Jarvan.
No, it's not that boring. I think
Mm, I
it does provide
mean,
a lot in team
it
fight.
is
It's
it is
boring.
boring. It is by all means. It is a boring team comp as of now. I already casted 2 games today, and I swear I'm very happy to see these boring comps because I had a Ilawi. God, what? Let me think. What did they pick? They had Aatrox in the top lane at some point. Then they had a Ramus and the bot lane they had Seraphine, of course, as AD carry. Guess what team that is? I give you a small hint. I'm part of that team. Uh,
I mean, I've heard enough when you say Seraphine and AD carry. I only know one team that plays it in the current meta.
Meanwhile, Wild Panthers will pick up the Evelyn and banning out Lysandra.
Yeah, Lissandra, especially receiving a buff recently. The Victor ban from CTR also targeted ban for the WPN mid lane. Uh, the Wild Panther Nemesis mid lane does play Victor a lot. I have to find the name. Vampire. Vampire plays Victor mid a lot. Like his match history is all Victor. It's like 10 games of Victor and a game
That's
of
it's
Ari.
just a bait. I swear, it's his main account, and he only plays Vladimir in his secondary, going by his name. Oh wait, okay. Somebody's watching this cast. I swear. That's a
Damn.
Vladimir taken off the board, and Silas also removed from the champion pool that would be pickable. And let's see what the Wild Panthers goes for on their fourth
It
Malphite.
should be the top laner, and it might be a Malphite ban pick. That kind of
Hmm.
justifies the Silas ban. It does make sense, but also Malphite top lane does open to some kind of counter pick if you want to get a bit spicy in the top lane. Things like Mordekaiser can do very well, or even if you just want to opt for a tank versus tank matchup, most of the tanks kind of just beat Malphite. Like if you
It
just don't
is.
pick up Bruce to top lane, you just beat them.
That is
Even
correct.
say the likes of Sion, Cho'Gath, well anything really, and we just Syndra pickup from CTR. Syndra being one of the, oh, I guess in this meta is the most generic. Not generic. I mean, Syndra is quite unique in itself, I
She's
would say.
she's more of a niche pick in this case. But I'm like actually like wondering what they're gonna be picking top lane.
I hope it's
Who are
something
they gonna
spicy.
pit against that Malphite?
I don't want it to be something boring, but it's
That's
gotta be
a
something
very
boring.
oh my god, yeah, that is very boring, but it is safe. So can't really argue with that. Also, Shen in the early game, quite a bit of pressure, even on Malphite.
Yeah,
Uh,
I guess it also depends on how proficient with Shen. Shen is quite. You kind of have to know like how a taunt works, as in like how exactly long the range is, because the Shen taunt is actually quite short compared to many
it
other
is.
skill shots,
Like
and
it's very one of the shortest dashes I think. Like at least it feels like it because he's so thick. That's a
yeah,
Yone picked up.
yeah, Yone very exciting actually in the mid lane. So that means I would assume both teams will try to put all their attention in the mid lane. Then Malphite can come down for a sneaky roam, or you can say Shen can also ult mid to help. Especially both like Syndra and Yone, it could be played very safe, but I assume both teams will want to try their luck at to solo killing the opponent in this matchup,
Oh,
or to
definitely.
just apply a lot of jungle pressure to it to make it unplayable for the other team.
Yeah. It seems we got some technical difficulties on the sides of Cosmic Transcendence. Um. Wait, who did CTR say that they were pitting on mid lane? Because these are I recognize all these
Yeah,
names.
yeah. So it's HVDS Fugel, right? Something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of confused by that one, but that because that is an incorrect lineup that was posted.
And also, I thought Wild Panther and Nemesis was gonna lose a ban, but they did not lose a ban.
They did not. Right, we talked about that. I think we might need to go over this after the game, but it seems there were some rule violations.
Well, rule violations be damned. Both teams are just going to quickly go into blind pick and hopefully get a game going quickly. But looking at the draft in both teams, it seems to me that CTR does have kind of the early move, I would say. Evelyn, although still a champion early, kind of want the level 6 to be able to be more sneaky.
Not just be more
Jarvan-
sticky, but also, of course, unlocking the stealth and like forcing everybody to buy pink wards, because otherwise, you won't be able to see her.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said sneaky, not sticky. More sneaky.
Oh, I heard sticky.
But yeah, especially with Syndra being able to secure the bit prior quite early, you can function with Jarvan to do some either some jungle invades or just try to do a 4-man gank or 4 or 3-man gank into one of the side lanes. So I would expect that's what CTR is aiming to do in order to, well, either to unlock the dragon stacking or maybe going for Herald in order to just try to explode the game early on. But for Wild Panther Nemesis, it's in a interesting situation because the bot lane, they should have some kind of advantage if given some help, but looks like everyone else is quite busy. Like mid lane, top lane, jungle, they all are kind of busy trying to get their own strength rather than helping bot lane. So it might be less explosive as we were talking about, the Tristana and Braum in the bot lane. Might be just a farm it out situation, but we will have to see.
Yeah, and as we go into the Spectre delay, we are gonna take a short break, and we'll be back with Cosmic Transcendence versus Wild Panthers Nemesis. First game of the night. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you after the break.
See you.
after some technical difficulties. We're finally into the game. No early shenanigans, just your casual 4-man defense and the mid laners staring at each other, I guess.
Yeah, I love how Lord Pingu, the jungler, is actually standing in mid lane instead of Kasa. That kind of
Oh,
basically gives you a bit of a disguise, not to make it too obvious that way a jungler is starting. Wards are put down in the Putin. Wards are put down in the river by both sides on the entrances on the ramps. Just to stop any shenanigans, but otherwise, seems like both junglers will opt to start on the bot side. Evelyn a bit more predictable in terms of the clearing path. Jarvan can be more creative, but it's currently quite hard to see where to gank. Maybe mid lane for Lord Pingu. Maybe try the luck for a level 2 gank. But nope, Lord Pingu will go to the Krugs and gonna finish that.
yeah, I would almost say like bot lane is easier to gank for Lord Pingo in this case. Of course, Chen does have setup, but killing a Malphite is like basically is just killing a rock who's just gonna come back even more rock.
So, come back even more rock.
So it doesn't really matter, does it? A little bit of level 2 shenanigans in the top lane. Of course, Shen trading quite hard with those Qs, dealing max health damage and also magic damage as well. Stand out onto That's Limka, by the way. So his tag is Limka, not Limoka, I guess. Another quick little engage onto Nikiri here by Exceptional Top. Almost killing him, actually. Vampire abusing the ability to just go back to where he was on his level 3, trying to get a quick trade, but just gets the short end of that stick.
Yeah, Nikiri was in a rough spot early on, but now
Lord Pingu is already. There we go. Okay, so my rock to rock saying that I put out for here like before, like kind of not coming true there, but I guess Exceptional Top will take on First Blood onto Nikiri. Kind of expected that to go down in the bot lane, but both junglers not really interested in that bot lane as of right now.
Yeah, I think it's a very good adaptation by Cosmic Transcendence, knowing that Exceptional Top has a very good lead in top lane. Stacked up a big wave, so going for the dive after Nikiri was at half health. So very good.
And we have Braum rotating up. Maybe looking for Kasa. Does not get anything for his rotation, but just steals some XP, I guess.
Yeah, Kasa trying very hard to hold this wave in this current position, but still the cannon will be focused down.
He just grabbed it. He's Syndra. Yeah. He could just grab that. He can do that. That's another gank on Nikiri here by Lord Pingu. Getting the flash out from both top laners. Exceptional Top picking that one up.
Yeah, it's not hot. I mean, it's quite tough for Nikiri, losing now both the flash and teleport. But in the long run, it hopefully wouldn't be that big of an issue. Now that he's invested into a chain armor, is that what it's called?
It's Chain West, but it also doesn't really matter against Chen because he deals magic damage anyways. Lord Pingu, very active on the map right now. Tries to go for another gank, but there are 3 members of Wild Panthers here. 4 actually, with Limka rotating up. Flash expanded by the Evelyn.
Yeah, a bit optimistic there.
No flash actually by Pingu. He's just walked it out.
Yeah, that's why I said it's a bit optimistic on Wolf Panda Nemesis side to try for that, knowing that the Flag and Dragon's still up, the Syndra QE combo is still up, but nevertheless, Vampire trying to do a trade on level 6 Syndra.
Very, very interesting choice here. But now he gets that what he should have done before. Okay, that flash may not have been that smart by Kasa there. He still has TP up. Underestimating the Yona W damage there.
Yeah, very greedy on that flash, but still expended in the end. You see Nikiri just having a rough time. Probably actually trying CSing quite fine. Comparable to exceptional top on the Shen, but obviously Shen does not excel at CSing, so that's fine. More importantly, is that the wave is always shoving into Nikiri. That means that when exceptional top,
Oh my god, that poor
Malphite.
3-man dive on the top lane, but he's just gonna ult out. I feel like somebody wanted to give over the kill to exceptional top, but he did not have damage. So Nikiri just got away with that.
Yeah,
that should not have happened. If I was CTR, I would be fuming right now.
Yeah, a bit unlucky there. Nikiri going for the defensive ultimate, but also resulting in Wild Path Nemesis getting the dragon quite early at 7 minutes. So the first dragon goes to Wild Path Nemesis while CTR is just getting gangster on Nikiri in the top lane.
They're looking for a gank onto the Yona. Not quite sure. Fate Sealed is not up yet.
Yeah, Kasa not doing too hot right now. A bit scared of the Yone right now. Although Fate Seal is not up yet, I don't think Kasa kind of factored it into the calculation. Probably still thinking maybe the cooldown is quite short on Vampire. And indeed, I think it will come out in about 10 seconds. So you can see Kasa don't really have to control the wave in this mid lane. So that
just a little bit of poke.
Problem.
Meanwhile, Bubble sitting alone trying to defend the turret, and Evelyn finally having reached level 6, just gonna eat up those Krugs. No wave there to dive. Oh, that's Iona also rotating down to... has decided he has other plans. Rather go back to mid lane, grab the wave.
Yeah, looking pretty dicey for Bubble a second earlier, but Vampire decided to go back and collect the wave in the mid lane rather than committing to the dive bot lane. Bot lane is actually doing quite fine anyway. Limka taking a few platings and just gonna jump to safety. Overall, a lot of pressure from the Wild Path and Nemesis bot side.
Big Ego Bad Jungle just stole away Lord Pingu's red buff and is gonna convert that into a gank mid lane. Fate Sealed hits and the second nugget up as well. Channel coming out, but it does not matter. The damage the execute from the Evelyn is just too much. Shen not very useful in that scenario, sadly.
Yeah, unfortunate. There's just a lot of damage that goes into the combo. Actually, we see Pingu falling down to the Yone and Evelyn as well in the mid lane. So that's quite terrible for them. We're losing around, well, a wave and a bit in the mid lane. A lot of gold just given up. So quite a bit of setback for CTR. We can see the gold lead around 600 gold right now to Wild Path and Nemesis.
There's quite a bit of a gold lead in both the mid lane and the bot lane for Wild Panthers Nemesis. Like that, the main focus is on. Oh, actually, I just saw Evelyn is already quite well fed as well. While both, but while the Tristana mainly claimed the platings, Evelyn has already been able to assist with 2 kills.
Yeah,
And the
especially
Yone. Okay, that's another gank in the top side by Pingu. Not sure. Just decided not to drop the Herald. I guess
you
decided
say
it
a
was
gank.
not worth it.
You say a gank, it's just a tax. It's just a
Yeah,
tax from Lord Pingu.
yeah. Honestly, he just walked up there, stole his XP and his gold, and just left again. I kind of expected him to drop the Herald, but not really that much of a push there, anyways. So I guess he just decided to keep it for a later date. Bubble is actually not doing that bad in terms of CS, even though he's been alone on this lane for a majority of the time. With
Yeah, a
just
bit of a
show in
problem.
XP.
Yeah, Bubble not doing too bad, but also Limka trying something maybe here, trying
Oh,
hiding the
that's
bush, being sneaky.
that's a bronze brain tactic. Let's see if it works out. Stun comes out by the Braum. Passive. Nice focus by Bubble onto Limka. Not able to get the root. Meanwhile, the Rel will fall down to the Evelyn. Not able to trade one back either. So both ult and flash and ghost expended by Zyra. Oh,
A lot of
there
fighting
is
all the
action
lanes.
all over the map. Yone failing an engage onto the Syndra. Meanwhile, exceptional top chunking out Nikiri quite a bit. There was the Rift Herald deployed onto the bot turret, but Lord Pingo took all of that gold for himself.
Yeah, overall, it's slightly Wild Platinum Nemesis' favorite with that kill on Bubble.
Oh, I think it's like I know the gold says it's only slightly favored, but if you look at Wild Panthers champions, they do. I feel like they have a lot more impact going to the mid to late game. Of course,
Yeah,
Shen ultimates always being there, but Evelyn that can one shot all of your damage in 0.1 seconds, and a Jarvan that may be able to provide some CC. There's okay, I guess there is a difference in utility there, but also a very big difference in damage.
Yep, I totally agree. I totally agree that Wild Platinum Nemesis is just gonna do better and better, especially given the CTR is already kind of behind in gold. Both teams looking at this dragon though, trying to fight it. Lord Pingu walking up front, trying to secure the positioning on the Cloud Drake fight. Both teams posturing, trying to get positioning, clearing out the pink wards from extra here. But we see the Evelyn, we see top well, observers,
Eh,
and we see
uh,
Vampire.
okay. Oh wait, that is a very nice Rel ultimate, followed up by a really nice Jarvan ultimate. Shen ult will again not come through. The Stand United just being, I guess the damage just being burst down, I think. Or did, no, the Unstoppable Force has cancelled the Shen. Limok looking for an assassination here. It's not gonna get it. And a triple kill for Bubble.
Yeah,
Very, very
that's
nice.
actually so much needed by CTR. That's what their com is made for. Doing this early game team fight slash skirmishes. Very good, well executed rel out there by Extra.
They
Just
were
start off the
not
fight.
able to get the Drake though. They only got quite a bit of gold with kills.
Yeah,
But
honestly,
it is of course only a Cloud Drake, and it's also the first Drake. But you gotta think, maybe that will come back to bite them later on. We'll see. Extra's just gonna spot the Braum on the board. Not gonna go in there.
Yeah, I don't think CTR should fight this, given that they have no ultimates, but they're still going on TP coming in.
Vampire expending his E. No fate, no ultimates available on the side of Wild Panthers at all. Shen teleports in this time around.
Unleash Power is backup
Now
for Ursa,
everybody is here.
but no one is ulti except for Syndra.
Oh right, Rel is close to getting her ultimate as well. That's a very nice engage again by the Jarvan. Lord Pingo. But did he? Where the? What happened?
Well, Peach just
Oh.
disappeared, really.
that
Honestly, a bit of I would say miscalculation by Warpath and Nemesis. I don't think they have kind of a game plan in terms of the
no,
dragon fight. They kind
they
of sit
should not.
around and say,
In my opinion, they should not have fought that. In this case, being all of their ultimates down and also summoner spells.
"Yeah, I agree. I agree. They should have. I mean, they don't have the knowledge that we have, really. They
Yeah,
just we do know exactly which ultimate is coming back on
but
cooldown.
they know that they do not have ultimates.
Yeah, yeah. But I think they just assumed that that's what happening to CTR as well. But I think more importantly, they just did not secure a good positioning. They were like really like kind of pussyfooting with their positioning and also not trying to secure flex. But anyway, this basically gives CTR what they needed. Two one-team fights in a row. Give them back the momentum to accelerate the mid game, going on track. Well, on track on the original game plan, basically.
Okay, we get what is looking like a fight in the mid lane. Fate Seal is gonna whiff. Just gonna eat a tower shot, but Evelyn is just gonna nuke Kasa. I think that's the damage I talked about compared to the utility.
Yeah, I mean it's an Evelyn. We all hate it. I mean, as if you play mid late, you hate Evelyn.
that is
That's just life.
it is what it is.
I mean, objectively, they did try for something that they probably shouldn't have tried for. Just if you're around like 70% health, just go for just the CS, just chill, just fight when you're full health. But this is all very much hindsight speaking. Currently, exceptional top really having an exceptional time here in the top lane. Having the heart steals slowly stacked, getting more and more tanky, but I am not very impressed with the itemization. I don't think Heartsteel is the right one, and I also don't think. Well, the itemization it's not very.
Heartsteel is Shen's like best in slot item, but in
You
this
think
case, yeah, like usually it would be, but in this case, I would rather have seen like maybe something more like team focused, maybe even a Radiant Virtue or something like that.
Oh, I would have
Because
seen something completely different.
oh, like
I
Divine
want to
Sundara.
see, yeah, or Static
Oh,
Shift or something like that. I would love to see a more aggressive Shen, just because like you're so ahead, right? Like if
yeah.
if you use those money on defensive items, it's just not how you should play the game. You can
Well,
go
you
defensive
can
items.
debate about how Heartsteel is not that much of a defensive item, but I'll leave that up to exceptional top in this case. While Fate Seal is gonna whiff once again, the Shen ult coming through. I think no, it was cancelled again. Okay, never mind. The exceptional top's ultimate getting cancelled by Nikiri once again. All of those feathers went into the Braum shield, and Evelyn took that opportunity to blow up Bubble in this short trade. This is looking like it.
Yeah.
It's a 2-for-1.
I love how Bubble just pinged the Brom. Like there was a big ass shield in front of you, and it was a bit tragic, but quite comical.
like he's like that shield was already there. I'm not sure why you're confused that it's there.
Yeah, Limka might get one shot in, but no unleashed power.
No
by
unleashed
Kasa,
power
so-
available for Kasa. And with that, we reached the 20-minute mark. I think that's like around the time where it is getting harder and harder to deal with both this Yona and this Tristana, even though she's only on one item right now. She already has her BF sword. And of course, with Tristana's scaling range, she's getting harder and harder to catch. with W being that low cooldown, just
Yeah,
jumping everywhere.
something I love to see is to see maybe some healing and shielding items on Shen, just to make the shield bigger. Just because having the bigger shield actually counters a lot of the playstyle of Nemesis Panther.
In
Evelyn
this
can't
in
one-shot people anymore if you have a big enough shield, you know?
Yeah, in this case, like exceptional top has been cancelled in 2 out of 3 cases, and the first case the ultimate didn't even go through because the target was burst down so quickly. Vampire, maybe going a bit too deep, has to flash out there. Uh, I'm not sure if the flash was actually necessary. He could have just used the Fate Shield because it's not interruptible, but that's up to him. Meanwhile, White Panther is just gonna grab the Drake. It's gonna be a Hextech Soul for this game. Teleport coming in top lane. Flash.
I don't think they would have enough damage.
That is okay. I'm okay. Okay. That is 5-man top lane right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, it's for the bounty, understandable. Evelyn, especially because Evelyn got the bounty. That means accelerated him to
That
finish that
Evelyn
rapid one.
is very very scary. I think
And also,
if she backs now, she should be close. She is. She has her death cap actually.
yeah, a lot more than a death cap actually. Probably another component. Yeah, I think it makes sense in what Panther Nemesis to do that, but also it allows for a lot of pushing lanes and tower hitting from CTR. A vampire trying to solo kill on Kassa.
Not quite enough. No fail seal available, of course, having used it on the top side. Onto exceptional top. The 80 carries are kind of just doing 80 carry stuff at the moment, I feel like. Not much action there.
I think both teams really like to play those team fights around objectives and a lot of coordinated plays. And look at this mid lane though.
Mid lane, and again 4 people on this mid lane.
Dan United, is it enough?
This time, exceptional top gets to join the fight, but CTR may actually be able to turn this. Nikiri's unstoppable force not doing very much in this case. Maybe she just sat on it. And
Yeah,
that's I think that's a 1-for-3 trade right there in favor of CTR. Currently, also the gold being more in favor of Cosmic Transcendence, of course, and they have moved towards the Baron, which in this case looks like a safe pickup, actually. They do not have their main damage source, of course, with Bubble still actually moving towards that bot lane tier 2. But Evelyn is nowhere to be seen, and they're just gonna pick it up and get away with it.
Yeah, that's another step forward for CTR to execute their win condition really. Having the Baron allow them to push down more towers, which is they really, really need, given that, as we were talking about, while Panther Nemesis with the Yone and the Evelyn scale extremely well into the late game, and the Tristana as well, of course. They will have to do this by probably setting up a bit more vision and also try to not get caught by Evelyn. And we have a pause right now. A lag from Linka, apparently.
Okay, so we'll... you got...
I was just about to ask you, what do you think of the state of the game right now?
As of right now, I think that, well, even though there's a lot of gold on the side of CTR, a lot of it is on the Chen. He's 5-1-5, and he does not scale very well. And as you said, you might actually want some AP to increase that shield size, or maybe even buy a shield, like a more damage focused item to be able to match more of that Malphite, because he's like basically been playing a split push all of this, like all game. Kazar kinda not able to match the Yone in any way, I feel like. Uh he's down CS, even though he was been like, of course he's one dev more as well, but uh maybe could have used that range advantage in the early game a little bit better. Evelynn, like big ego bad jungle, is very very scary in this state of the game, because he's basically able to one shot everything on CTR side except for Shen, because he has that much HP. But he also has no magic resistance, as his current itemization is like only armor and only armor. Tristana, of course, and Xayah will scale. I feel like the scaling is, of course, favored towards that Tristana, with scaling range and, of course, the big damage of that bomb. Bubble played this game out pretty well, except for the one interaction with the Braum Shield, where I was like, maybe a little bit questionable with the Flash ultimate. But otherwise, I think CTR.
Yeah, let's we
both-
don't have to dwell on that. We just have to say, yeah, big cojones, and then we just move on.
Both CTR and Wild Panthers are still in a position to win this game. There is no like complete favorite in this, I think. Like,
oh, I mean, I'm slightly biased towards CTR. Maybe I think given that they have executed their team fights really well for the last 2 or 3 fights,
and there's the lag. We love this.
Yeah, that's just how League of Legends Spectator works.
Very very sad, you see.
Yeah, but I just think CTR kind of like executed better in the last 2 team fights, and if Wild Panther Nemesis really want to like win this game, they have to step up a bit within this game in the either team fighting or their potential of catching people. That we saw a few catches like in the top lane, for example, the Fireman dive in the top lane on the exception on top. That's shows some potential, but I think we need a bit more of that, and maybe perhaps a more important member maybe. For example, you want to shut down a Kazar from scaling up a bit more, or you can want to shut down Bubble from scaling up a bit more. Because otherwise, in the team fight, it's so much harder for Wild Panther Nemesis to execute, and I don't quite see that they know how to do that. You have to have flanking positions for both. Well, actually, all 3 of the carries. Oh, 2 of the carries, and actually. In terms of Evelynn and Yone, but if we look at the top lane now, there's some not too much going on, exception on top, just going into no man's land actually. But yes, I would say CTR has a lead here, but it's just a bit hard.
They factually have a lead.
Yeah, they factually have a lead, but I do think there's potential for Wild Panther Nemesis, but they have to up their game a little bit, I think.
Okay, CTR going onto that Braum, just gonna dash away towards Limca there, and we see some preparation for this Drake moving towards CTR's soul point actually.
Yeah, Dragon spawning in 10 seconds. We see Wild Panther Nemesis securing positioning and some vision here. We see Bubble actually bait, so maybe they're not looking to contest this on spot.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Ooh, Evelynn actually have a very good flank position here.
That is scary. That is one very very quick Kazar on the flash. The Stun United comes out, saves Syndra's life. Very, very big engage by the Jarvan. And ultimates flying out left and right. All of the ultimates blown, I think, at this point. Yes. Oh wait, no, actually Evelynn is already dead though. And that Drake fight was very, very quick, with actually Evelyn thinking she had caught Kazaa. Kazaa being really, really quick on that flash away. And exceptional top saving the Syndra's life and also the damage.
Yeah,
Teleport
bit
coming in
unlucky.
by exceptional top actually
Oh
to
my
claim
God.
that kill.
What a KS. What a KS by Shen there. Overall, CTR got what it wanted in that fight.
Yes, they
very
got
good
all of the
try.
kills and all of the and the Drake, of course.
Yeah, very good try from Wild Panda Nemesis. It's just that they messed up the execution a little bit, didn't layer the CC on the dot, allowing Kasa to flash over the wall. If they had secured that kill, in no doubt that would be a Wild Panda Nemesis teamfight win. But as things stand, that did not happen for them, and they're now in around a 5 to 6k gold hole. That means a lot harder for them to.
I feel like I've cursed Wild Panthers by saying that they still like they are on even footing right now in terms of like scaling and like champion damage in general. They seem to have vision on Lord Pingudo, but he's just gonna flag and drag out of there. That is a Narelle ultimate only onto the Braum. Yona just gonna peek his nose in, decides no, it's not worth it, just goes back to the ghost and heads on out of there. Evelyn in the meanwhile, and another very nice flank. Might be able to pick up Bubble here.
Yeah, the only thing is Shen United, Stan United from Shen is up again. And the problem with that
He's
is like,
sending
look at
help.
that shield. Look at that shield. That is a level 16 Shen, which explains why the shield is that big in the first place.
Fate still coming out, but Yona is just gonna get blown up by the Syndra.
Yeah, not much they can do at this point in the game, I would say.
Limka maybe looking to... No, he's just gonna jump away. For a second it looked like he wanted to go into Kazaa, but decides it's not worth it. There is 5 members of Cosmic Transcendence alive and only 3 on the side of Wild Panther's Nemesis.
Inhibitor has been destroyed.
Shen is just gonna tank up the turret. Does not care. Fails his flashy.
Yeah, game looking to close out by CTR. Not Noxy trying their best to block all the attacks, but ooh, Nikiri.
That's a very nice Bromald actually, but I don't think it matters in this case.
Yeah, hit the Nexus, not the Vlad, and
Just
CTR
just
managed to secure
runs
the
it down.
victory.
never been able to finish the game.
Yeah, a lot of things to think about both teams. Congratulations to CTR winning this game. I think both teams probably will look at this game and not be too happy about it. CTR obviously kind of losing out on early. Lord Pingu was very, very active in on the job and very, very active in the early games, but didn't manage to secure too much. And
Well, he did. He
But-
did manage to secure that top lane, like 2 top lane kills. But again, it's just a Shen laning into a Malphite. Of course, Shen was able to provide quite a bit of utility in all of this game. But I actually, as we look at the damage graphs, I just got them pulled up. Shen has almost dealt as much damage as Bubble has. No, as Kazaa has. So
Yeah,
the Syndra
and-
and the Shen are very, very close and close matched in this case.
Absolutely. Yeah, for Wild Panther Nemesis, they probably want to think about how they approach these early game dragon fights. You know, some of them you just probably don't take, or if you want to take them, you probably have to approach it more carefully. But otherwise, we will have a look at our next game.
We got
Our next
Tribal versus Goats for Hire, which are some of our lower down in standings in terms of both
Yeah,
points
Trib-
and rank.
yeah. Yeah, so Tribal and Ghosts of Fire are in Group A. They are currently 8th and 9th in the placings. Tribal went 3 and 8 by week 6, and Ghosts for Hire 1 and 11. So both of them not really too much to fight for. It's a bit too far for them to go for the playoffs. but they will
Well-
probably still want to secure this win, seeing this might be the few matches that they have a very good chance of securing more wins.
Yes, indeed. And with those words, we're gonna go into short break, and we'll see you guys later with the next game: Tribal versus Ghost for Hire. Don't go anywhere.
Do we fight to hold our heads up high and beat the drum to what we love? Risk the fall, or we have felt it all come crashing down from far above. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of a world that we defy. A soul ray of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last Hearing voices from afar, join the madness when the curtain falls. Risk it all, hold nothing back. Seize the day, we must attack. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding. Only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of a world that we
that, we are back to the second game of tonight. We got Tribal versus Gods for Hire. And as I said before, they're basically already out of playoffs contention, with both teams being like near the lower end of the bracket. But they are also quite an even matchup, in my opinion. And meaning both teams, I hope, will put everything they can forward to beat one of the opponents. They have one of the biggest chances to grab one more win before the season closes.
Yeah, both of them are sitting at 8th and 9th place in Group A, so both teams probably want to try to beat the other and to make sure that they have a higher placing in the final rankings. As we were saying, both teams are not. They have their own pocket picks. Actually, they do like to play their own champions. For example, we see on the side of Goats for Hire, they do like the Shen a lot in the top lane. So I expect that will be
Another Shen.
Yeah, and we have Fiddlesticks in the jungle. So
that one is
it's quite spicy. It's quite spicy. So I would kind of
can
expect
be.
to see that in there.
Depending on what the opposing team decides to pick for in the jungle. For example, Rengar may not be the nicest thing to deal with in the Fiddlesticks, in case the Fiddlesticks actually goes through and is being picked up.
Yeah, both teams have their own picks indeed. Lee Sin being played a lot by Head of the Table, the jungler of Tribal. So I would assume that the ban phase would consist of a lot of targeted bans.
Oh, Scooper. I remember Scooper being the one picking Garen, like the only champion that was actually in their role in Gods for Hire's last on-stream game. They played a comp consisting out of Garen, Sejuani, Malphite, full AP, Warwick, and Sivir. And I still respect them for picking that comp and like actually going through with it.
Did they win?
No,
Did they win?
they were up against Invictus, I think, who is one of the top player contenders. So, no, they did not, sadly.
That doesn't sound too bad. You know, you just press. If you chain all the arrows on like one person, like they die. The Warwick
yeah,
arrow,
the problem kind of is if you play Sejuani support, she's kind of useless. And if you play full AP Malphite mid lane into a Syndra, it's also not the greatest experience. I've heard.
That sucks. That sucks. Just thinking about it makes me cringe. How do you lane? How lane?
How lane? No. Do not the lane. Well, with that said, we're just waiting on the two teams to get ready for them to draft. Just actually, I recognize all of these names. It's really nice actually. Like Head of the Table, Ibonsky was here. It's all really nice to pronounce. There is no confusion. Way of Glory. It all makes sense. Like it's not a language that is not.
It's not gibberish or a foreign language. Yeah.
No, it's like how you have like Slavic languages that have like pronunciation that I have no idea what it is, or French. I don't even want to go there. That is like French to me is really scary because French people tend to get really angry if you don't pronounce like their
Oh, do they?
Whatever it is. Why I don't know why they decided to spell do with an X at the end, but I guess they just did. And we're like, that's it.
Fair enough. I don't know either. Like, if it's silent, why do we put it there?
Yeah, that's good question actually.
You
Because
know
it does
what?
not. To my knowledge, it does not change the pronunciation one bit.
Well, what happens is, at a time maybe when they were writing the language, they'll be like, you know what looks good? If we put an X in the end, it sounds so much more edgy, no? And it's like,
Ah,
oh,
yeah.
are we changing the pronunciation? No, we don't change the pronunciation. It's just how it's written.
Oh,
It
so,
just
so
looks a
they
bit more
did,
edgy.
so they just decided to go with the OG. Yeah, DU is already like the Germans are already using that. So we just put an X at the end, so we're individual.
Yeah. Just looks
Okay.
edgy, you know?
With that said, we're going into the first big bands. Let's see what. Of course, Gods for Hire do lose one ban. Tribal, to my knowledge, do not. So,
The Fiddlesticks. They heard us.
they were listening. They were listening, of course. Of course, they did not have the OPGGs. They would never have that.
Yeah, Fiddlesticks is one of those champions that's very hard to deal with, especially when you are trying to autopilot the game and just like not be active on an active lookout. So banning is a good idea. Like you just don't want any of those surprise parties from Fiddlesticks. Goes for Hire. The first ban should be a null, as expected, because they do lose a ban. Yeah, I would have loved to see the Fiddlesticks really, but it's a shame that we don't get to see it.
No fiddlesticks. No wonderful surprise parties for us. Instead, they're gonna ban out Rickard, or as some other people know the champion, it's Kale. No Kale on the table for Gods for Hire to pick up.
Not really sure why. I guess it's just because Scooper has a high win rate on the champion. But interesting bans. Aatrox banned, that will be targeted towards a Way for Glory.
And that's a Ramos ban. So you
Okay.
could. I'm torn on that one.
I haven't
Say
thought of that one as well.
the same thing with the Udyr ban, of course, meaning you may be picking a jungle up that does not do very well in the early game. Like for example,
I mean, yeah, go on, sorry.
the Evelyn, I
example.
guess we had before.
Yeah.
So early game contention is out of the picture. That's a Rel as a first pick.
It's very interesting how teams still prioritize the rel a lot. It got nerfed this patch as well. So remember in a very long time, not very long ago, like before Rel was buffed or reworked, no one played Rel.
Yeah,
Now everyone's playing Rel. So it's
I'm
very
not
interesting.
sure if it's an optimal pickup in this case, especially on as a first pick, because now Gods for Hire can plan around that.
Yeah, but they still went for the Samira,
They
even though
did.
with the lockdown that Rel provides. And pairing
But they also
Samira
have a
with the Guardian-
Sojani to set that Samira up, and that's an Ezreal.
Yeah, it also could be flex top or jungle. Not sure if they have that pocket pick in their back pockets. The Ezreal will be picked up by Tribal.
Of course,
Ezreal,
Ezreal is painful because he can he's also, I think at this point he's also a flex pigment once again. Like he was, then he was a flex pick jungle, and now he's again a flex pigment and AD carry. I don't know if you've had that wonderful experience in your solo queue games with Ezreal mid lane, but especially billing him full AP. That's a shame.
yeah, it's not. I don't think. We stick Garen.
That's
Let's
uh
talk about the Garen.
yeah. I mean, silence does cancel Shen's ultimate, does it not?
It does.
So-
but I don't think that will be like. I mean,
No,
all the
he's
champions have
there.
cancelled.
He's obviously there to match the Shen in any way possible, and being able to cancel the ultimate, of course, I think counts into that.
I think
So-
one of the good things about Garen to Shen is that when Shen puts up the shield that stops auto attacks, Garen can just spin. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
That's also one of the things why Jax has such a horrible time into Garen, because Jax, yeah, I mean, I blocked the silence. Well, now he just Beyblades on me. Ah well.
Just Beyblades, the automatic Beyblade. We see some bans here in the mid lane. Very, very
Understandable
meta
bans actually. These
Yeah.
are very nice bans. I like those. I did not like the Ramos. I did not like the Udyr, but those I can get behind. The Nautilus, yeah, I guess in combination with the Samira can be very painful, but you already have a Rel, so. And also you're playing Ezreal, who is, to my knowledge, the safest AD carry in existence.
Yeah. I think the mid pool being shrinked doesn't mean too much because I think they all have their own pocket picks. We see the Warwick getting picked up. I'm a bit worried. I'm a bit worried. 'Cause we talked about it,
I
didn't we?
literally just said something before. If this is gonna be another Malphite,
We'll be in for a good time.
yeah.
We'll be in for a good time.
I mean, like, oh my god, this is just a repetition from last week. I feel like, but they swapped out the AD carry for Samira instead of Sivir.
Wait, what is this?
That's
Is that a Brom?
Are they
I am so
are they
confused.
in a competition to
They are doing
who
Royal
picks
Jungle,
the
right?
more who picks more tanks? No,
They're
actually
doing
not.
Royal Jungle, which is, to my knowledge, not. being
It's
nerfed
not that
and
great anymore. It never really was that great, but it's also not. Okay, that's Lissandra. I would have liked Anika better, but that's one thing. Yeah. What Tribal has built up here is more or less just peel.
Yeah, it's not.
They do
it's
not have a
bad.
lot of damage,
No,
and
no,
that's
no.
no.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not sure what to say about this.
What?
Are we having the Sejuani bot lane again?
Yes, we do. And it will be Samira Sajani into Ezreal Braum.
This has to be like the least damage, like the least. Okay, if we don't look at the Samira, that's the least damage comp of all time.
Like if you
surely is.
remove, yeah. The question is if they're gonna be playing the Malphite on full AP again, which I assume it's gonna be full AP Malphite mid into Lissandra.
I mean, I don't know. I'm going to lose it. Like
I already lost it last week, so there's nothing to lose anymore for both of these teams. But this is really low damage on both sides. But the Goods for Hire seem to have the bigger health bars.
I mean,
So-
if you think about it, it's I was saying, right, is a press R comp. If you press R on one person, and then that person dies, right, and then Samira gets full stacks, and Samira spins and kills everyone else. It's so simple, right?
Yeah, but don't forget, Samira is not invulnerable anymore if she gets one kill. She can just get cancelled by Rel, she get cancelled by Shen, she can get cancelled by Braum, she get cancelled by Lissandra. In my book, that's not a very nice comp to play Samira into, much less first pick it like as your team's first pick. It's not. Yeah.
I think Lissandra does hold the team of Tribal together. But this Lissandra, I feel like Lissandra has to go for the damage build instead of.
Oh yeah,
the Everfrost
she
build.
definitely does.
Do need the damage in store, especially if we have to wait for the Ezreal to item spike. It takes quite a long time in.
All right,
relatively-
I'm very curious about Ezreal's itemization. We might see a return of the Divine Sundra here.
Actually, that would make sense.
It does make sense if you think about it, but the problem is that Divine Sundra is a horrible item on any.
It's nerfed really hard, right? So
No, it's not that great of an item on ranged champions in general. Like
Yeah,
after nerfs as well, like it was nerfed even harder for ranged champions. So there's a lot of
Yeah,
HP on the
so-
side of GFH, but I'm very torn on this. They do not have.
Yeah,
None of these teams have damage actually.
I don't really see. I mean, I think Divine Sandra makes a lot of sense because you don't want to go Essence Reaver. You don't.
No.
You can go Triforce. You can go Triforce maybe, but
That will work.
it just requires a lot more.
Qs to
It's
land.
just harder to play.
It literally just requires you to land more skill shots. Therefore, it is harder to play. Therefore, I go for Divine Sandra because it also heals me. I hope.
It's better at kiting, I would say.
Yeah.
Just because you don't need the extra speed from the Triforce. You do want the heal and the percentage damage, but we will see.
We
if it's a
will
full
very much
AP
see.
If it's a full AP Malphite, I mean, I don't see him going anything else because if we look at going tank on Malphite doesn't make any sense, so it has to be full AP. But
Yeah.
you're going into Lissandra, like it sucks because if Rel if he's anywhere near mid lane, you just die.
That is correct. You can just count. Just hope that Warwick hits the Lysandra, and then you kill her, and then you kill the rest of the team. There is no other way. Because if Lysandra, like, there is no damage there. After that, Ezreal can poke. Yes, he can. But what else?
And also, even say you hit a skill shot on someone. Like you hit.
It's just gonna heal it back up.
You get a Shen ultimate, right? You get a Shen
Yeah.
ultimate. If that buys time for Lissandra to self ult, then your whole shtick is just not working. So
Yeah.
I don't know what to feel about this. What do you feel about this?
I feel like we need a break for this.
Yeah, I think so too.
With that, we will do exactly that. Go into a short break and see how this is gonna turn out in the coming few minutes.
Yeah.
See
we'll
you in a bit.
later.
Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we bring to fall
Okay. Once again today, League Launcher just decided to be as great as it is. We just get to enjoy even more time in the loading screen. But now we're in the game with Tribal going for a 5-man invade.
Yeah, they might catch them on
And
the
Great
call.
Vindicta seems to be rather liking his emotes than running away. Has burned his flash, and Ezra's gonna pick up the first blood.
Yeah, there's 2 flashes from the side of Tribal, which is not too bad of a trade deal, I'd say.
It's 2 for 1, and they get first blood. So I
Yeah,
would argue that this is probably worth. Scooper, just gonna snoop in there.
Yeah, especially with head of the table having the Hex Slash ready. Not sure why the Hex Slash actually. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, what?
I'm not sure
What?
why head of the table has Hex Slash.
I guess he wants to gank mid lane easier, so he can make the jump. If you think about it, I try to justify it. I'm sorry.
It might make some plays. Cozy Crab already losing some HP because
Of course.
Lissandra is Lissandra, very good in this short range fights, especially
Burst trades. Also, he
Yeah.
can always just auto attack, even though the Malphite is probably not gonna care very much. But as I said before, Malphite does have a lot better armor scaling than magic scaling, like magic resistance scaling. So even though he's like spec'd into magic resistance, he only gets 36. While on armor,
Yep.
he almost gets like 40 to 45 or something.
Well, a lot more when your shield is up as well.
Yeah.
Really like Azoth going for the corrupting port because knowing the playstyle of Cozy Crab, knowing that Malphite will always run a 4Q.
Roach is
Corrupting
already
does-
trying to gank that Lissandra, but yeah. Okay,
That's a bit early.
that's I mean, I guess he saw him and just used the claw. I mean, he moved away, I guess, so it kind of worked out. There's the Hex Flash onto the Samira. Yeah, I think that's just gonna be the
That's-
story of this game.
That's the Hex Slash diff. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the second flash that was expended to catch the same champion.
Wait for Glory was just like behind. It was just like texting.
Yeah.
I can't.
I'm,
It's fine. The wave is pushing in. He can just follow the wave and probably not get harassed.
he could have
Because
he could have just traded him there. Yeah, like that.
I am surprised that Wayful Glory is not taunting Scooper right now.
Yeah. I'm not sure how experienced both of these players are on their champions. I know Scooper played a fuck ton of Garen, if you put it like that, but with Glory seems to be unsure. Or I guess he was just waiting for head of the table, who's now is getting scared because he sees Roche, and notices that, well, Warwick has a lot more fighting power than.
Yeah, very, very wise decision to back off by ahead of the table. Probably just going to farm, but Roche trying his luck here, trying to see if Wayful Glory trying to look for head of the table actually.
That's another Hex Flash onto Cozy Grab. Never mind, he's just gonna tax the XP. Or actually,
Roach is spotted.
Roach is spotted. He still has not realized that there's a ward in there. Let's see. Bot lane about as exciting as 2 disengaged champions are. We get some Beyblade action by Garen in the top lane, chunking out Way of Glory quite a bit.
Yeah, Wayful Glory probably wants to go for a base now. Because he might be in danger because Scooper has the Flash Ignite ready.
Roach is in the area. Head of the table is also moving down, while Roach has decided that this is not worth it. Great Vindicta may be in for another gray screen. Yeah, he is.
Wow, head of table with the double stun. That was really cool.
Head of the table making plays only towards that Samira, I think. Yeah, it seems. There seems to be a personal vendetta. Or they just realized that the Samira is kind of overextending and not respecting. Or I guess she could do anything and just got engaged on by Hex Flash one more time. Meanwhile, Trouble's just gonna go for the Drake. Way of Glory still suffering against Garen and his sustain. While Trouble picks up the Drake. That's
Ooh, that's actually
That-
very well done from Way for Glory with the backward taunt.
Way for
Might be
Glory.
a solo kill, but he has to be careful because Scuba still has a flash, ignite, and ultimate, but not gonna go for it. Way for Glory, but too scared of those summoners.
Don't forget, Way of Glory still has his flash up, so he could go for a flash taunt. Yeah, there it is. But not enough damage, and there is the Garen Gaming, as we like to call it. It just gets
Yeah.
silenced, ignited, and ulted. That's a lot of true damage, and that never falls off.
Yeah, I think if you didn't go for the play in the first place, you probably don't want to go for that play. Roach trying to catch out Azoth.
Azoth is gonna fall down to the gangs of Sneaky Chief and Roach. I feel like, though, that Malphite could have actually gotten her herself, the way she was positioning, but we'll never know. Azoth
Yeah, it's
gonna
it's
fall
good to
down.
see-
No TP, so he's gonna have to will walk slowly back to lane. Already has normal boots, but still gonna take it better.
Yeah, interesting to note that the gold lead is not that significant, even though we think that
Also, the Samira is also not that far behind in CS if you look at it. It's
yeah,
not.
but
It's
lo-
really not as
losing
bad
3
as I thought.
kills- Losing 3 kills is just not great. Ooh,
Of course not.
aggressive trade by Azoth there.
Yo guys, you're still showing this draft screen.
Bruh. Can you? Oh my god. There we go. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
you guys have seen 8 minutes of draft screen.
Nice.
Um,
Good job. Good
many-
job,
many
production.
apologies. But we're back to our.
Well,
very
I mean,
nothing.
it wasn't that interesting in the first place, was it? Now, I'm just trying to play off my mistakes. Okay. Well, get you guys back up to speed since you got a very nice podcast on the happenings on the Rift. Even though Samira has died 3 times now at this point, she is not as far back as you would expect, and the gold diff is also not as big as you would expect. But yeah, that's about it. A lot of interesting skirmishes. Hex Flash being questioned on head of the table, but he's already proven that they can make use of it. Sneaky Chief trying to actually Azaf going for an offensive claw, and one again is just gonna steal out our way. Probably not what you wanted, but we got the job done. Cozy Crab, of course, playing the Ignite Malphite, so walks back to lane, slowly but surely. It is still up in the air if that AP Malphite will be as effective as a mage, of course, but yeah, time will tell, I guess.
Yep, time will tell indeed. Looking at top lane, actually, Scooper dangerously low. Roach is trying to help out this lane, actually. Wait for Glory, might be in trouble.
That's a lot of not moving and a lot of not being able to cast spells. Yep. Garen
It's what we
Gaming.
said before the game, right? Like,
Yeah.
you just press R on somebody and you can follow up with all the ultimates you've got and you
Oh,
just get a kill.
I guess now that I think about it, the viewers did not see the wonderful outplay we had beforehand with Garen simply like getting flashed down but just ignite silence
And
judge.
spin, and spin. They're more
That's
buttons to press.
there.
than-
Yes, of course. This is very important that you have all of the very complex combo in there. I'm sorry, I'm not trying.
It's
I'm
actually
not
more
trying to
complex
flame Garen. I'm not trying to flame Garen players here, but
it's actually more complex than you think because
Oh,
with
yeah.
the canceling with your spin, you can actually get in the auto. For example, like if you're say spinning but you want to finish off someone, it's actually a lot more DPS if you cancel your spin and then auto. That is something that
you
I don't know
can
why that-
like is it yeah, you can cancel your spin with a win. Meanwhile, head of the table, getting off another. Okay, well the Roach is just not able to move at all, being stunned up and rooted by both head of the table and Nezov. We talked about that, but this is once again just showing off, like, if Lissandra is not out of the picture, it is getting really hard for Gods for Hire to do a whole lot.
And also we see Ibonsky on Ezreal going for the Essence Reaver. We did debate about which Sheen item Ezreal should go for. Eventually opted for the Essence Reaver. I think it doesn't really matter too much right now, especially he's quite ahead, so he can get his powers back quite early. So, because Essence Reaver, I believe, is still cheaper than all the other components, right? So it just
Oh
basically
yeah, it is.
gets it a bit earlier, the power spikes. Just waiting for the match. Top lane, a lot of spinning going on. Bot lane, Sneaky Sheep in trouble.
Roach is gonna try to help his bot line out, but it's gonna be held back by head of the table. Meanwhile, Azov moves down and goes after Roach, who has to ult out of his way.
Did I see it wrong? Or I think Ibonsky managed to exhaust the Malphite mid-air. Because that was
I
very
did
little
not.
damage.
I actually did not catch that. I
I'm not
think
sure
we'll.
if that happened.
I think we'll need a clip on that.
I'm not
Or-
sure if that happened. But maybe Malphite just did not have damage because look at Malphite Ice now. Before his died, he only has a lost chapter. So maybe that was the reason rather than why he was doing that.
The exhaust. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Scooper still having a general good time in the top lane. Ibonsky as well, just finishing clearing these minions and will probably take it back. And with the amount of gold he has, I wonder what item he will go. Can he finish the mana mune now, or are he just going for boots and one of the components, the Obit Warhammer?
Currently on 2.4k. Just gonna go for components here. No big spikes completed yet.
Fall soon.
I mean, you could argue that the cooldown reduction boots are a spike for Azrael because he gets CQ even more. But
Yeah,
of course
of
of course it's not a full item.
Yeah, I just realized that Malphite not having an item really hurts. A Great Vindictor flash away from this danger and should be fine.
Sneaky Chief is
can-
just takes his position, has to dash his way out of there. Ahead of the table, might get cut out by Scooper here.
Yeah, he looks very caught up indeed.
Azov not able to help his jungler out. It's just gonna get the true damage sword. The big true damage sword from the heavens. And there's the Warrigold. Not gonna do very much. Just gonna... Azov is just gonna ult, sit it out. Roach staying alive for way longer than you should have. Wait again. Also gonna go down. Actually dropping a shutdown.
Wait, the ROM has a shutdown? Oh wow.
I did not see that yet. That's a very aggressive play by Azov there. Just flashes into Sneaky Chief. Oh no, wait. No, it was Skizzy Crab. Killed him. My bad.
Yep. Yeah, looking quite tough for Ghost for Hire. They really want to use the lead on Scooper to make more things happen. Either from doing 1v1s in the top lane, or just going for some skirmishes in the jungle or in the river.
Yeah.
With, Garen with the Drive Breaker finished now.
I think
I can't.
Garen. I
Great
think.
Victor.
What?
Great Victor just went for the
Oh.
collector.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
Can
bad.
we agree that this Samira will need a lot more CS or some kind of miracle to get her back into the game, and that was very, very close.
I think CS is not really the problem. I think it's just how you function against in a team fight with so much CC going on.
Yeah.
Someone will get you, surely.
Ezreal just picked up his Manamuna and it instantly transformed into the Muramana, so that's a big spike.
Yeah, he sees like one item ahead totally, right?
Yeah. You could
So
even
that's a-
argue. You could even argue that it's more because it's a fully stacked, so it's already a Muramana. This will hurt a lot more than any second item that Samira can do at this point, because it's gonna take her way long.
Yeah, I think the only in the silver lining is that the point and click, well, not a point and click, but if we're doing the game plan of go for higher, well, having a fed Ezra is fine as long as you get one shot, right? And there's still a chance you can one shot it. But talking about one shots, Great Vindicta.
Great Vindicta seems to look to have got out, but that ultimate deals no damage, and Ibanski just picks off Roach. No real way to get him there with Glory, taunting Scooper, but don't forget that big R button is up, and also the ignite for the Garen. Question is if you really want to challenge him at this point. Azov, of course, having a great time against this Malphite, since there is no real way he can arm him.
Yeah, Cozy Crab still not having the first item.
That
a
is
bit worrying.
Wait. Well,
That's a
well,
solo
there,
queue.
there's
That's a
a
solo bolo.
there's a solo bolo. We talked about. I just said the big R button is available. The ignite is available, and Scooper took that personally. He wanted to get rid of that. Head of the table, charging in towards 3 members, and Great Vindicta will feel all of the CC coming through. Yeah, you said it perfectly. Samira has a very hard time functioning against this much CC, and also her being behind does not help out a whole lot.
Yeah, especially because if you're not ahead, you can't really build defensive items, and you kind of need some kind of defensive items. Actually, maybe you don't. You just need to have a very good opportunity, kind of have your teammates as bait. So if they expend all their abilities on your teammates, then Samira can go and clean up. And I think you just have to be a bit more patient and not get caught out while farming, which requires some patience and awareness. But still, there's a
I
potential
think
for Samira
patience.
to
I think there's a quite a lack of patience currently in Ghost for Hire's overall playstyle, because they have been consistently moving up a little too far for the state this game is in.
I guess you can't really blame them too much, especially because they are 3 dragons up now. So the next dragon, which comes in around 3 minutes, will be the Infernal Soul for
Trouble.
Tribal. So they really do have to make some plays happen, but it's kind of hard being in around a 5k deficit. So they might have to look for something where they chain the ultimates together.
That's
on
some
prior
big
target.
damage onto Great Vindicta. Just gonna take 1/3 of his health bar off of 2 spells. Of course, it's an Ezreal. He's gonna scale even further. He's gonna hurt even more. Now almost down. He's actually going towards a Duskblade, I think. Being almost 2 items up onto the Samira. Samira's just gonna wind wall that Ezreal ult. No true shot
Yeah.
barrage damage on anybody.
The ER combo from Israel didn't work well against the windmill. Barrage was angled for some reason, but not fight going on.
Well, Roach is just gonna get stunned out of the ultimate. Great Vindictor get their ultimate up, but it does not really matter. No damage. Garen assassination coming through onto Azov, but the tribal seems to just be able to turn this into a Baron.
Yeah, unfortunately for Ghost for Hire, they didn't have the damage, even though Roche landed the ultimate, the Warwick ultimate on Bonsky. Didn't matter as the standing out happened. And now Baron looks like it will go towards.
That's nice Malphite ultimate, but it does not matter.
Team double kill.
Even wait again. Gets away on a 1 sliver of health. Walks it out. Garen looking for an assassination onto a Way of Glory, but just decides, yep, I'm not catching that. Roach on the other end was like, yep. Okay, never mind, the blue buff is nicer. No way to kill the Shen with who currently has a Hullbreaker.
I think it's quite smart. It's quite smart because seeing your team is quite ahead, all you have to do is just hold down
Press
the
R.
lane and make sure it's pushing and press R when needed. So I don't really mind this itemization.
Oh yeah, the Shen is definitely not a problem in this point. Like, as you said, he's just there to keep the waves pushing and press R onto the correct champions. That true shot barrage, it looked like Samira like caught it on the back end of her tornado, so he's still got the damage.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Trying to catch out the Sandra generally doesn't work that well, especially with the Hourglass and the Frozen Tomb available to self-cast. So they might have looked for like another priority target like Ibonsky, but they just haven't seemed to be able to do
Ibonsky
so.
might be very hard to catch at this point because of course, Ezreal just spamming all of his abilities, and he also maxes E usually as a second.
Yeah, having that max cooldown.
That's a very, very. Oh wait, never mind. He might
very
get out.
tanky
He
Shen,
gets out.
actually.
That is a very, very tanky Shen. If I wanted to flame the Hullbreaker before, but okay, it actually bought his team quite a bit of time, and Great Vindictor is just gonna pick up his 9th death in this game.
Has been destroyed.
The
Quite
main
tragic
health
to see. Malphite ults in, just gets blown up. Does not matter. Wonderful ultimate by Doral. Magnet Storm. Holding them all together for Azrael to just queue away on. And also the Sandra just pressing one button and doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, it feels
Ah,
bad for Scooper. Scooper is 6-1.
Yeah.
The game is just
It is what we call the top lane syndrome. It never works out, even if you're ahead. You cannot carry at 1 in 10. Oh, they're actually going for a bit of BM, trying to bolster their KDA.
yeah, it's their right.
Yeah, they have played very well, but also what the? Okay, that Malphite does not do damage. It does not tank anything. Just gonna pick up a triple kill at the end of this. And
We just say at the beginning of the cast, we say, oh, it's Malphite, not again.
it kind of came true, didn't it?
Yeah, I didn't really, I wasn't impressed by the AP Malphite. But still very good try from Ghost for Hire. I think there's some slimmers of hope, especially on Scooper. Managing the solo kills in the top lane, and also I think it's just solo kills in the top lane, and I think some in the middle where the Garen and the Warwick or other CCs are chained together in order to pull that
Oh, yeah.
burst. combo off.
But if you take like only it was only ever 2 champions that actually comboed out of Goods for Hire's comp. So it was mainly like 1 CC spell and then the Garen R. Even if Samira gets her ult off, she didn't really deal any damage by the nature of just being that far behind.
Yeah, it's just a bit too behind, and having that one item in the collector, I mean,
Does not give you nice stats. Collector, like Samira likes Collector, but it does not. It is like objectively not a very stat heavy item. It's just the passive.
Unfortunate, very unfortunate. Yeah. So our next game will be will be MMM against Invicta. So Invicta will be on the blue side, and MMM or Manastir Manasija Matrix will be on the red side.
Okay. I think we still have some time till we start that game off, so we're gonna go for another break. Just resting up before we go into hopefully a little more balanced game. We'll see. I mean, we'll see it at the draft. We'll see. We'll see.
We will see.
Okay. Of course, we'll still be here in about 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. Okay, we are back with the game Invictor versus MMM. I'm not gonna pronounce that every time. What was it? You said it before. I do not remember.
Manastia Matrix. It sounds good.
There you have it. I mean, it's good, but it's long. Therefore, I'll just say MMM because it's shorter. Make sense?
Yeah, fair enough. Invicta will be on the blue side, and MMM will be on the red side. Very interesting game because both are in the top standings of A. So let's see.
Okay, I'm just gonna assume we're not gonna get another AP Malphite mid lane running Ignite.
Well, maybe they can make it work, you know.
Do you really want to see that again? Because I rather see like two assassins blow up each other at the same time. That would be very funny to watch.
What do you mean, AP Malphite is?
Yeah, but he didn't blow up anything. He just got blown. He just got blown up.
Sure. He blew up our mental for sure.
Oh.
Invicta is on second place and MMM is on fourth place. So both have some to play for, trying to get a bit ahead on that playoff seedings. Both teams have done very well so far, especially Invicta. Invicta is in joint first with Lost Nation according to last week's standings. Not too sure about how the games went for them earlier this evening, but they are still in contender basically for first place, Invicta.
Yeah, we're just
the other
waiting.
team that is, yeah, we're just waiting for both teams to get in the draft, and the other team that is contending for the first place in Group A is, of course, Lost Nation, and both teams. I assume Lost Nation won because Lost Nation was playing against Goats for Hire, and it is, I believe, Invicta's first game this evening. So they will want to win this game to keep it in par. And also, if Invicta wins this game, that means they will have a head-to-head advantage. And we can see the bans coming on now.
Yeah, we can. No, it just said a small little interaction with one of the, I think it was Invicta members. But as I say that, we're already into the draft. Ban phase number 1, Invicta, of course, on the blue side. And they are... I'm not sure. Do they lose a ban? No. Do they?
They might have. I think a few teams losing this ban this week. So Invicta, let's see.
Meanwhile,
Just
MMM
scrolling
is gonna
through.
take Kindred off the board. Maybe because the enemy jungler is called Raz the Kindred. May just wanna hint there that they are OTPing Kindred,
Yeah,
or at
Rasa
at
Kindred-
least perform above average.
Yeah, Rasa Kindred does have 150 games on Kindred last season, so there is that. But this season seems like he is going a bit on the Ivan adventure, so we might see that this game. But other bans include Korkmore from MMM, Invicta banning out the top laners, banning out Fiora and Wukong. Wukong obviously can be a jungler as well.
Yeah.
And we see MMM hovering for the last ban, just waiting for the very last second, still debating what to ban. Probably will be another AD focus champions, but they did not ban, so they might have lost a ban as well. Interesting.
I have no information on that, to be honest. I also
I don't know. I think Invicta and MMM both have full bans. So not sure why. It might be just an APM problem with the fingers, but I hope that's not the case.
At this point, you might wanna question if you should be playing League. Okay, Mitrugol just said they banned Cannon, so that last ban on MMM was supposed to be a Cannon.
Yeah, Kennen is still a good ban in the 5v5 settings, especially in actually in all brackets of professional play or 5v5 play, I should say.
Yeah, because Cannon can just disrupt every team fight because he can.
Yeah, 'cause
Simply
he
with that
can-
massive ultimate.
with the Maelstrom, I forgot the full name. but
Slicing
the
Maelstrom.
Slicing Maelstrom. Usually one exhaust will do the trick, but doesn't want to deal with that. So we'll be first picking the Milio as well, just to Milio being really strong in the past few patches since its advent of the champion. Pairs very well with a few champions as well. One of them is Jhin. Ashe Milio is also very strong.
There's a Vi.
Nautilus Vi will be the
Okay.
two answers from MMN.
Okay, hear me out. We've seen Samira last game. Question is,
Yes.
because I like looking at these two champions and Milio being picked up by Invictor. Currently, I can see a Samira angle. Because you have very, very reliable CC. You got 2 point and clicks, and that's an Ashe. Okay,
And
I may
Samira
want to
Windwall
rethink
as
my
well.
yeah.
Yeah, you have the wind wall as well for the Ashe arrow. So
Yeah.
Samira can be an angle here, especially with you did say like those CC are very guaranteed and they are not cleansable by Milio. So
They're
the,
both knockups.
Yeah, the Vi cease and desist and the Nautilus. Oh, what's it called? Death charge. They are
Death charge.
both.
Yeah.
They are both not cleansable by Milio. The Trundle will be locked in as a counter. to
And
Vi,
there
we
is
see Samira.
okay. Come on. Show us the
Okay.
champion can work.
Samira looks very buzzing here. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. But don't forget the enemy mid laner is still up for grabs.
Yeah.
That's a Draven.
Or the Draven.
Those are both very
I
aggressive
want to
picks.
see the Samira. I want
I-
to see Samira.
These
Not the Saya. Don't be a pussy. Don't be a pussy. Okay,
The-
going for the Jinx at the very
I'm
end.
actually not sure. Okay, so Jinx with the buffs to IE, I guess could. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Jinx, like the patch is not old enough for me to have any knowledge about Jinx being actually playable at this
I
point.
think Jinx is still playable. Jinx is
Jinx was sitting at like
Yes.
48% win rate for quite some time. Like on almost all levels of play. So okay, that's that taken off the board, and
I think the idea
Avax.
is that with the Nautilus Vi, you can secure one kill very early on that can excite Jinx. So
Yeah.
I think that's the angle. That
for
we're
the
going here.
resets and the resets and the resets and the resets. Question is, will Ashe have to say something about this? Just put an arrow into
Arrow
the-
to the knee. To the knee.
I wanted to avoid saying it. But yes.
We can't. We are very geared into the memes. This is our generation. So
The
we are geared into
Jinx
saying
might
memes
take
that
an
way.
arrow to the knee and not be able to join up with the Dawn Guard.
Yeah, I'm also a bit. I feel it's a bit sussy to have Nautilus with Jinx, and I'm just have.
Oh,
Ooh, the Syndra.
this
pickup.
is okay. I like MMM's comp quite a bit better at this point.
I do as well, especially say Trundle want to gang the Syndra, but
It's just
Uh,
gonna get knocked back.
it will get knocked back. And also, when Syndra has enough items, Syndra can just one-shot the Trundle before he gets into range to ult. So
Yeah.
or to put the pillar. So it's a very strong champion. In
Also,
the
there's
lane.
no real tank on the side of MMM yet.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
there's no real target to take all of that armor from. You could
And
argue that
Echo
Nautilus
is-
exists, but he's not that tanky.
Yeah, Nautilus is not that tanky. It's a pipe dream. I mean, not a pipe dream, but it was in
Everybody
the
says,
past.
yeah. I mean,
In
he
the
looks tanky.
past-
He looks tanky, but he's actually really not.
It's actually not. In the past, Nautilus, we will have a stone plate as our second item, and the stone plate used to build from the hourglass as well, or from the stopwatch as well. But we have the echo blocked in, which counters the Syndra, and the
And
Urgot.
oh,
can pick
wait,
top
wait,
lane.
wait. There's the Ornn. There's the big fat arm. Oh, never mind.
I think
hovering-
Ornn
hovering
works
the Gwen.
Fine here.
Looking for the. Oh, please don't lock in Camille. Camille sucks at the moment. That's an Olaf.
And they've chosen to have the Olaf
This
in the top lane,
is-
trying to run down the Urgot.
I mean, this could work out very well. I like MMM's draft.
I think they have just a lot of a lot of damage, a lot of explosive points. So, but that allows Vi to gank a lot of lanes. So you can gank bot lane with Nautilus setup, gank mid lane with Decision setup, or gank top lane when Olaf hit one axe basically.
I
So
feel
there's a
like
lot of
MMM's
points for
comp
Vi
is
to-
like basically the exact opposite of what we have seen from Goods for Hire, with Goods for Hire going for 1 damage dealer and MMM basically going for 4.
all damage dealers. Yeah, I agree. I think what Trundle has to do for Invictus side is to set up some very good counter ganks because Trundle is very good in counter ganking,
Oh yeah.
and that might allow him to like basically turn the fight around, or even Trundle can go into the Vi's jungle and try to contest him that way. But it depends on the lane priorities. I kind of assume that they won't have lane priorities early, especially with Echo in the mid lane. Needs a few points in order to one-shot the back line. Urgot doesn't really come online until level 13, level 11, sorry. When you max, level 11 or level
No, it's
7?
level 9, I
Level,
think.
level 9. Level 9
Yeah,
when you
when he
unlock,
gets to
unlock the
not
pew-pew.
like he's always have his W up without any mana cost. Yeah,
So that's
Urgot
some
needs
great
his time,
points.
but he's got a strong level 1, but I don't expect an invade just simply because the enemy has a Nautilus and a Vi, and especially an Olaf. But Olaf is like really spiking at level 2 as well. So
We'll have to see how they play out.
well,
and
this
also-
is gonna be an interesting game. If we're just going by champions, this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, and I guess we just really didn't talk about the Ashmilio. Ashmilio is one of the strongest duos in the bot lane, having access to so much low, so much kiting skills, and you can see MMM going for all in, going for the fire, going for the Olaf, the Nautilus, all wants to go in, and can just get kited like a bitch by the Ashmilio.
Yeah.
So there is that possibility. So a lot of different little interactions we can look through in the team fights. Which I expect both teams want to fight these team fights. Maybe less on the Invictus side, wants to probably play less of 5v5 and want to play more bit side lanes. But
Going for the
MMM
side
will
lanes,
be-
picking off
yeah.
people with the Ash Arrow.
Yep, absolutely. And MMM will just want to stay on the pit, stand their ground, and play the dragons. So that sounds like a good team plan, good game plan for both teams.
It does. We'll see how well they actually follow it. Like, you can talk about it, but we're not really that close to the top level of play, and even there are fuck ups. Human error is never out of the question.
Yeah, you say human error, I say outplay. There can be a lot of outplays in these games.
Yeah, especially I think the Nautilus Jinx in the bot lane, of course. If Nautilus hits the hook onto the Milieu, he's probably gonna go down rather quickly. Not because of the Jinx damage, but rather because Nautilus exists.
Yeah, and the Chomp Chomps, you can chain the CC with the Chomp Chomps. You can't move for a long time, I just say.
That is correct. While we wait for the game to start, I think we'll take another short break. We'll, of course, be back as soon as we get into the game, and hopefully, I actually do not forget to swap to the in-game overlay. That
You'll be
may
fine.
that
You'll be
may
fine.
be more entertaining. Of course, the two of us thinking that we're not visible on camera, maybe also entertaining, but definitely not as much as Garen, Q, Ignite, Ring, animation, of course. Okay.
All right, see you.
With
in a bit.
that horrible disappointment, we'll go into a short break. Don't go anywhere. made it into the game sooner than expected, actually.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Invictor positioning for a potential
30 seconds until minions spawn.
invade.
We'll just put down a ward, seems like. Actually, they're able to put a ward into the red buff. But Sazu,
I just realized our, like, especially in this case, MMM is not sorted. Fix that real quick. That
Yeah, Sazu-
otherwise that would have been in all of those top lane, and I don't want to see.
you don't want to see nothing stop like.
Nah.
Sazu forced to flash early. That's quite big. That kind of means that any kind of hook opportunity from Nautilus
It's gonna get very
can
scary.
result in a kill. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it can result in a kill right away. So I would expect Metro Gold to try to maybe make something happen in the bot lane, knowing that there's no flash there. Metro Gold indeed starting on top side, same as Wrath the Kindred. I'll call him Rush from now on. He's not the Kindred. He's Wrath the Trundle.
He's Rusted Trundle now. Okay. I kind of expect the Nautilus already to be fishing for hooks. The problem is Ash's level 1 is very, very, very disgusting.
Yeah, I agree.
Even also, she has a ghost, so she can always run the enemy down, and Jinx also, only has heal, so she can't run away at all.
Yeah, sometimes. Oh, level 2.
Going for the.
advantage.
Okay, that's the target with a flash available. I'm not gonna blow it though.
Flash use, but also unlock the head flash for Spestnik. Not too bad of a trade. You get a lot of the health pots out of Invictor's side. On the mid lane, a bit of trading happening. Actually, Burger King player surprisingly good at clearing these waves, having the push advantage.
Boblo just pushing this wave into Funko. Gonna dodge the E, and that's big true damage onto the.
Vitrigo in the mid lane tried to take down Burger King player.
Just gonna flash away. And First Blood is gonna go over to the Syndra. Trading 2 flashes for 1. But of course, First Blood. This time the E will hit, and Boblo takes a lot of damage. But is able to trade it back. That's just the power of
Olaf.
Olaf in the early game. You actually think you got him, and then you realize, where did my health bar go? So Zdenik not able to get out. Very nice pillar. Ash has currently has a ghost activated. Double kill going over. Gonna flash after. Very greedy. Seeing the Syndra teleport in, is just gonna pick that one up. Actually no, it's gonna go over to Jinx.
Yeah, a bit greedy of our Trash Panda there, but very, very good pillar by Russ. And actually, like, if you saw that, Spesnik basically did not get to move.
No,
Both
he
Eve
was
Machine and Spesnik
stuck
did not
in
get
in the pillar.
Yeah, very good placement on the pillar. And Eve Machine having that double buff because of the exchange is actually really good, allowing him to probably just stay in lane and not base yet, waiting for more.
Sarzu's playing a dangerous game here, and he
Sarzu
will
not gonna
pay
defend.
with it with his life actually.
Yeah, Sarzu not having
EU
flash.
EU Machine is very, very strong right now, but Echo going for a rotation down. No summoners available on EU Machine, and Echo is just gonna take those double buffs back.
Very good roam.
Pick up his first kill. Swissdenic maybe look actually cancelled there.
Did
Cancels
cancel.
the no, he did not. He like Burger King Slayer canceled it because maybe he wanted. Maybe he could have gotten the Nautilus, but he just froze the hook and gets out of it.
Ras will be on wave clearing duty here. Just picking up this wave that both
Can I
things
just
there
can I
is
just
not-
mention that Russ is on the same level as his mid laner? Like
Yeah.
actually he's a level up onto his mid laner.
Yeah.
You said the damage goes through. Yes, it does, but there was a one stack too little on that Syndra.
Yeah. Did it not go through? I think it went through, right?
It did go through, but he only had one stack on him, so didn't proc the big damage.
Yeah, didn't proc the big the big damage. Yeah. I like how you frame it as the big damage. 3-hit passive, the classic Rito.
Okay.
How to make champions 3-hit passives.
Boblo just decides, yeah, now it is time. I have Ghost, I have Ult. Funkel, you are dead. I do not care. I just walk away from it. Actually not. Takes that one turret shot. Trades 1 for 1. But I think that is not that great for him, because Funkel also has TP, but not only has TP, but also the wave is actually pushing towards Funkel right now.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of a
It was just
of
it was a very
dopamine.
YOLO play.
dopamine play.
Yes.
I think.
I got level 6 and I got Ghost, I get everything up. Let's go!
Yeah, that is a dopamine play.
Is
The
what we
wave is good for Funkel. Funkel didn't even have the TP, but decides to.
Yeah, I actually would have had him rather not
Really
TP.
interesting case. Funkel wants a prior rather than having the good save state there. Meanwhile, Ras
Rasta
going to
Kindred
the bot lane
moving
again.
botward. Not sure if he can actually make something happen here, because Trash Bander is still waiting on his ultimate.
Yeah, probably it was just a counter gank, just waiting before the mid laner complete the prior, and then now the dragon can be started.
And Vi is nowhere to be seen, it seems. MMM is just gonna give this one up.
Yeah, I think they do know it's happening, especially when you see the AD carry bot lane too has gone up. At Zenith, trying to do something, but nothing could be done there, except for pushing the wave in.
And handing some gold over to the first strike Syndra.
Yeah, but he missed out on the turret plate gold. That is really sad for Adasinus.
Boblo, of course, knowing that Warden's Mail is basically the only armor item you need against an Urgot, because it's so super effective against him. It is literally like double or triple the effect for any
Is
other.
it?
Yeah, the thing is, like, Urgot already applies reduced on-hit damage.
Yes.
So does Ashe. And Warden's Mail reduces on-hit damage.
Wow, that Ashe arrow.
That Ashe
completely
arrow
evaporates.
came in clutch right there to take down the Syndra, and Burger King Slayer is just gonna walk away with a smile on his face, knowing he didn't actually do anything but just press his buttons, and the Ashe hit the arrow.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Always have to be on the lookout when Ashe can be shooting that arrow from base. Funkel dropping a alpha ward in the top lane.
Well, yeah. that is actually just
It is
a wasted 75 gold. That's what it is. Okay.
so much money he can have FU money. Bot lane though, a lot of action going on perhaps. Will Ras ready to counter gank?
Question is, do they know? It seems they do.
It seems Ras is still hanging around.
Yeah.
Ras is just hovering.
He's just chilling there, waiting for something to happen, for the Y to show up. There's a depth charge and a hook onto the Ashe. Minia ult coming out. But Mitragol is taking big damage. Swestenig. No, oh, actually, the hook connects onto the Minia. Jinx gets excited. And now. Actually, I think he could have turned that gun even a little bit further there. But Rather goes
Burger
for
King
the safe
Slayer.
play because Burger King Slayer is currently dismantling his support. And now there is a Jinx. Yes, she has a stacked lethal tempo, but he's probably just gonna blow up. Trade 1-for-1 with the Echo. But overall, in the meanwhile, Boblo just gets another solo kill onto Funkel.
Yeah,
This time no adrenaline. Rather just I guess you call it Olaf Gaming.
Olaf Gaming, indeed. Very unfortunate events for. Well, I said unfortunate events for both games actually.
I think MMM could have had a better outcome on the bot side if Jinx gets one more auto off onto the Ashe. Then they actually trade a lot better. But they just decide to get the Rift Herald in the meantime.
Yeah, they do have.
While there is no Drake up.
Yeah, they do have first.
Burger King Slayer trying to get the assassination onto SNF. Sarzu again getting caught out by the hook. Jinx Rocket going wide though. Hit the Urgot actually.
Just some random damage.
Just that happened.
Rasta.
That's a lot of action. Burger King Slayer engaging onto the Syndra once again. Meanwhile, Svestanik going onto Sarzu, hitting one more hook. Rusty Kindred still being undamaged, runs down into Svestanik, and Echo is gonna pick up the kill out of all of that. Meanwhile, Jinx chilling, pushing wave bot lane. Olaf playing whack-a-mole with the turret.
It's really interesting game state right now. Both AD carries have the resources, have the money. You see that MMM is leading by 1.5k gold, but you don't really feel it because you can see that the Burger King Slayer is actually really strong at this point of the game, and it seems like they're not losing too many kills. It's more like they are losing turret plates to MMM, and that's kind of the source of gold from that the gold leads from.
Okay, it seems now that Invictor has decided to pick up the Drake. A single mountain Drake. You might want to have more, but one should be enough. Okay, that's a very, very interesting fight there. Rusty Kindred untouched. Meanwhile, Ashe is just gonna get taken down. Burger King Slayer onto just blows up the Syndra on the backside. Teleport came in from Urgot. Has his ultimate onto U Machine and is gonna put him into the Shredder. Overall, a very, very bad Drake fight, I would almost say. But, I mean, they didn't fight for the Drake. The Inf already had the Drake, but MMM decided they wanted to fight anyways, and they just traded cooldowns and champion kills over to Invictor.
Yeah, it looked good for MMM at the very
It
start.
looked good at the start when there was a 4 members to 2, but yep, okay.
Yeah, but the TD came in.
Olaf is just gonna sit there, doing nothing.
Yeah, Bobo might go for a dopamine play here.
Oh yeah, he's everything up. Instead, this actually looks like he's gonna be just sitting
He's not
back.
going for the domain play. That is.
I'm actually surprised by how he handled. Okay, give him. I think. Oh, there's the level 11. That is. Well, he doesn't want to recall. I can see it. I can feel the top line in me. I'm telling him to do it. Come on, I know you can.
He can't recall though.
He can't recall because Ashe will always cancel him. In the meantime, Mitragol has made his way into the bot lane, shattering his bot lane duo. Actually, just decides to go even further into the enemy jungle. Olaf has taken the. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. We almost have a complete mirror scenario, but in this case, there is nothing is actually gonna happen. While the Nautilus hook lands onto the Urgot, but Urgot actually only has HP, no real armor. Only a single cloth armor in his inventory. The teams just both traded tier 1 turrets, so that should be a gold net 0. That's an Ash arrow. And it hits. Oh my god, okay. I think he's dead.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
That is the play you have to do with an Ash, it seems. And this is the meta now. While Nautilus lives his life to the Troll King, and Ash is kinda untouched in this fight. Nobody really doing anything to her. Syndra blown all of her cooldowns. Now coming back up. And it seems Boblo has had enough. Never mind, he's just gonna get shredded by the volley.
Yeah, you see the gold lead completely even now. Actually, Invicta taking the gold lead for the first time in the game. But I would say there's actually a lot more. Like, you can see Invicta isn't like in a big lead right now. Like it's like 200 gold. But there's so many turrets on the map for them to take. So there is potentially more gold for Invicta to increase the lead.
I'm still kind of wondering how Burger King Slayer, because he is very, very strong right now, and he's also like being kind of the assassin you need in this comp, because you just get the Jinx out and get the Syndra out, and then you're done. Also, Trash Panda has been very, very precise with his Ash arrows, like picking off 2 or 3 important targets across the map, and Burger King Slayer being there 2 times to just knock it out of the park, basically.
Yeah, it's quite difficult for MMM to play this if they are trying to still farm sightlings as they are used to, because the Ash arrow will come from anywhere. You just have to dodge it with a better vision and better reactions, but also with Echo so strong, it's very unsafe to side lane for MMM at the moment. So
It's unsafe for everyone, because I think Echo at this point can even blow up the Olaf. Because Olaf mainly has built armor.
Skirmish here, maybe.
That's Svestenik getting engaged on once again. Mitoko in the middle of 5 people. Olaf is currently with him, but just gonna get shredded. That is just a catch out onto the support, and then the 2 more or less beefy frontliners of MMM, if you could call them that, like engagers in this case, just decide to run in, try to retaliate, but they just get taken down by the massive DPS that both, even the Urgot at this point provide, and the AoE from the Titanic Hydra.
I feel
And
like,
it's...
I
Please
think
go ahead.
MMM was very half. They weren't decided to either fight or and eventually they did something like 3v5 and wait until Syndra came around, and Syndra wasn't even in the ideal position.
In the
also.
general vicinity.
Yeah. It took a long time for him to run around. So not the best decision making, and that basically makes Invicta in such a comfortable position now. They have the slight gold lead, and they have the Dragon Soul. No, I mean they're the Soul Point. Sorry, the Soul Point.
And it's becoming progressively harder for Jinx to even be able to carry this game, because there is so much like pick potential, and there is one of the reasons you should not walk up. Another Ash Arrow lands, Burger King Slayer is there to pick it up. Just happens to get the last hit though, I think.
Yeah, I do feel like.
And there's a Rift Herald charging towards the tier 2. Might be even taken down before it hits. Yeah, Shelly will take no damage. Meanwhile, the Syndra is getting blown up, and Ash, Trash Panda, chases into the enemy base. We might get to see a Dancing Herald here.
Probably not. They will probably end up. They couldn't end, I think. This time it's actually a bit short. There are 20
Oh, yeah.
seconds to finish off the second tower as well. But they don't
Okay,
really
Boblo
have-
is in the area. Boblo wants the Ashe. Boblo will not get the Ashe. Instead, he's just gonna get burned down by all of the big DPS, and I think Invictor
That will be
maybe
game.
they
Yeah, that will be game.
enough of this.
Yeah, the
Well,
very explosive finish.
yeah. I can't actually say that. I think that was a fun game. I think that was a pretty fun game. Like the MMM looked like they had a chance, like up until the point where they threw that dragon fight. I feel like because Jinx had the most gold in the game at some point.
Yes, James was really strong, but I think they wasn't able to organize themselves enough to fight those dragons fights, because I do think MMM have the better team fight composition, but just wasn't in there. We didn't really see a proper 5v5 fight.
Yeah,
And it
because
was a lot of
one
them
of
was
one of the targets always was picked off. It was either like Syndra was mainly on the sidelines, of course, just pushing waves to get their items, but that it just happened to that the Ashe arrow like hit once, and then the Echo is able to follow it up across the fucking map. Then the Nautilus getting caught out once or twice, leading into the top jungle duo charging in, thinking they can take him, but no damage being inside from the Jinx and the Syndra, either because the Syndra is not there or the Jinx is not there, already getting zoned out. Overall, I think Inf played the macro a lot better. MMM had some good MMM had some good fights, but mainly in the early game, and transitioning to mid game kind of broke their necks, it feels like.
Yeah, I think they just weren't adapting to the fast-paced gaming that Invictus was able to play after they got the initiative back from MMM, and they just kind of just lost one thing and then lost the other. Transitioned from a dragon to fight to the Baron and her not the Baron, sorry, the Herald, and the Herald just kind of really demolished the base of MMM.
Yeah, Baron hasn't even spawned yet. Yeah. Also the Ashe was like picking up those 2 early kills, almost going for the third one, only not getting it because the Syndra just happened to teleport down. Kind of already showed how this game was gonna go, because Ashe was untouched in most of these fights, with Nautilus just trying to get up into, like, either he got the Milio or he got the Urgot, and those are or he even got the Trundle, and Trundle I think is the target you wanna hook least, because he's just gonna ult you and just gonna run you down, and you ask yourself why you hooked him. That's one of the reasons why hook champions are like not that great if you're behind. Like, they're great for making picks, but if you need to play back, they kind of suck.
Yeah, so looking ahead, our last game of the day will be Rasenthal and the boys on the blue side against Pachynometros on the red side. So these two teams are in Group A as well. So Pachynometros is at the 5th place at the moment, 7-5, and Rasenthal and the boys are at 9-3. So Rasenthal and the boys, or RTV for short, they will probably want to win this game to try to compete against top places against Lost Nation and Invicta. Invicta just won, so Invicta will be up there with Lost Nation as the top 2 players in Group A, and Rasenthal and the boys slightly behind at 9-3. So if they win this, they will be still in contention.
Yeah, I think we'll just head into a short break once again, waiting for these teams to get ready to start this next game off. And I think with that, I'll see you guys in a minute.
See you there. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, and with that, we're back from the break, preparing for our last game of the evening. Rustin Tilly and the boys versus Paxton and Metros. I actually don't know how to actually pronounce their name, because I cannot read, and I'm lazy. And Cookie, you better do this. I do not.
Well-
I do not do names.
It is fine. Pachynometris, they are on the red side, and I believe Rasental and the boys are on the blue side. Pachynometris, I think the names are fine. Not too bad. Individual players wise.
Oh yeah, their individual names are actually fine. Like, okay, we got Space Jam on the Space Jam, of course. On the top lane, we got Siavi in the jungle. We got NG Ninja in the mid lane. We got Avangardas on AD carry, and we got Tesla on support. And on the side of RTB,
Russ,
we got we got Not So Reformed on the top lane. Grey Fox 11 in the jungle. Jack Skeleton, I think that is, in the mid lane. Russen and Tilly in the bot lane.
Yeah, all looks good. Both teams want to try to win this game. It's also an important game for these two teams trying, especially for Russ and Tilly and the boys, trying to get to the top of the table. Pachynometris, it's more about being in the playoffs, not. But I think they're quite safe. The standing wise, they are 5th. Dawnbreak is slightly behind on 5 and 7. Pachynometris are on 7 and 5. So
To
they
my
are fairly
knowledge,
safe,
Dawnbreak is out of the running, so I think
okay.
yeah, they have decided to pull out.
Okay. Well, in that case, then they are pretty safe. They will be in the playoffs. It's just about securing better seedings for them then.
Indeed. Okay.
Looking at the OPGGs, both teams have some champions they quite like. Ras and Tilly and the boys. Top lane, Jack Skeleton likes the Aatrox quite a bit. Also, they do like the Ashe in the bot lane and the Kai'Sa, which is quite in meta right at the moment. Lux is one of Tilly's favorites, but otherwise he will also be playing something like Nautilus or the Rel. So we might see some of these champions recurring in our last few games. The Rel and the Nautilus being a popular choice for the supports.
I actually am waiting for what Rasen is gonna pick up this time around, since he's had quite a few showings of his Ashe, like with Ashe being one of his best champions, and also like with last game we saw that, well, Ashe arrows across the map do hurt, and do also not. Okay, let's just say it like this: they're not very fun to play against. It is what it is. If you get stunned across the map just because you didn't see it coming, because your support did not put a ward on the enemy, like, lane on a top side. I don't know. That it just sucks if you get stunned for 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, it is crazy, especially with the Arrows last game. Something to think about, especially with the combo of Ashe Milio being so potent. They were even countered by the knockup champions with Nautilus and Vi, but wasn't able to shut down the Ashe last game.
Of course, that was mainly because I think the two knockup sources were either getting blown up as at the start of the team fight, or their knockups went onto the wrong targets.
Yeah, that is, I guess, it's unfortunate in terms of organization and timing. Not the best execution in team fights, one might say. Going into
And
the
with
pick and
that,
ban phase.
we are going into pick ban. Very nice. Almost on time. And with RTB, I think there are no lost bans in this, at least to my knowledge.
Yeah, I don't think so either. The first ban will be the Blitzcrank.
Instant Blitzcrank ban out. I wonder why that could be.
I wonder that too. And obviously, of
Like-
course, the answer is Catuan's one of Catuan's favorite champions in the support lane. And also, Blitzcrank is quite strong as well in the recent patches. Maybe not the most recent ones, but maybe a couple patches back, Blitzcrank was the thing to go to.
Aatrox being banned out.
Both teams looking
Not
to
so
ban out.
reformed. Not gonna pick that one up.
Yeah, Aatrox received a buff this patch. I would say it's moderate.
It's more of a
Big buff.
change. It's not actually a buff, because they just changed the scaling his Q, like on his first Q, right? Like how it works.
Yep.
Okay, that's
When
that's
being
Gwen.
banned out as well. Yeah. When
Yeah,
one
might,
of the...
we might see a Ornn in this case.
Yeah. I was gonna say we might see some tanky champions. Speaking of tanky champions, Poppy getting banned out. Poppy, one of the best champions in the 2v2 arena. If our viewers have been playing that.
Oh,
Try out
2v2
Poppy
arena has
Kai'Sa.
been. Yeah. Okay, we get Poppy. Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, it still depends on the RNG you get on your augments, but does sound pretty good. Yes.
Yeah, there are a lot of Uga Buga champions.
Yes.
You will play. They think it's
LeBlanc
good, but
is out.
LeBlanc is out. LeBlanc not quite in the meta, but is one of the most played of.
I mean,
artists.
I think that's just the impact of Static Shiv and people not being up to date with all of the patches and knowing that it's not only been nerfed, but that LeBlanc full AP is just objectively better at this point. Of course, still there are quite a few people who picked up the champion when it became meta, and now they want to stick with it. So I guess it kind of feels like a targeted ban. The Ari is like something you can ban out in general. I feel like you got a very mobile mid laner, and that's a Kled first pick. I am
Oh
very
my God.
confused.
I
Yes.
am not confused. I mean, I think Kled
I mean,
is a good champion.
Kled,
but it's
Kled is a
just-
good champion, but he's very situational in his matchups.
I think Kled can win a lot of matchups if,
He can.
if you're proficient. Even the dreaded Fiora matchup you can play around.
Yeah, definitely.
I just think, I mean, I from the OPGs, I know that Jack Skeleton plays a lot of Kled. Is a bit of a Kled enthusiast.
We
so
we talked
I
about
have-
the Rel, right?
Yes, we talked about the Rel.
There it is.
Yep, it's one of the champions that, well, not Tilly, because Tilly is on the blue side, but it's
That's Rel Ash.
Prestige,
That
I
is
think.
that is a bot lane I would have expected from the side of RTB, but since they are on the blue side, they're not able to pick up their bot lane duo in one rotation. Instead, of course, opting for a Kled, and we'll see what they will have as an answer to this actually quite strong bot lane. There's a lot of CC
it
there.
can be quite strong. Early game,
That's
especially with the
another
Ashe
meta
arrows.
champion.
Yes, Kai'Sa coming out, not unexpected. We were talking about Kai'Sa early on.
Mm.
Another 2v2 arena champion, Kai'Sa Poppy, one of
It's
the.
it's more
big
it's
builders.
more of what build will he go for, because
yeah.
there's I've seen the Ludens, I have seen the Rageblade, which is by far the most popular, and still Navori. Some people are still stuck with the strict old 80 carry playstyle of auto. Of course, can always work, is probably the most reliable because it doesn't rely on skill shots, but of course doesn't deal the big damage out of like across the half of the map with the W passive procs.
I'm starting to hate this meta now. How many Nautilus Nautilus Rel have we seen? It's
Um,
just a lot.
yeah,
Way too many.
Actually, I rather see it than Amelia, but it is getting boring, and that's another champion that has not been nerfed in the past 5 years. I feel like Gragas being picked up by PCN.
Yeah, can be a jungle top flex. So not a bad pickup at this point. In the draft.
I gotta object to that. He's a top jungle mid flex pick.
Oh, okay, yeah. The Gragas Smith can also be played if you are one of those enthusiasts. On being banned, very interesting because Kled usually goes
Kled
top,
is
but I see
already-
if Kled can be mid.
I'm confused.
Kled can be mid.
Because
Kled
no,
mid
because
can
if
be
I
good.
am PCN, I'm like, yeah, that guy plays Clad. He's gonna and they picked Clad. He's probably gonna pick Clad. Go for Clad. Yeah, sure. I will not go into that any further. That's a little banned out,
Yes, get shrinking the jungle pool for RTB.
and they have there's a Silas banned out and a Lissandra.
Yeah, Lissandra getting banned up, very good. One of the most disgusting champions. If you are a mid laner, very difficult to play against when the jungler decides to gank you. So, especially when it's buffed this patch as well, which is a bit mind-boggling why Lissandra needs a buff.
She's
But
already.
it is there.
I guess Riot tries to get towards a certain meta for the summer split. I don't know.
Just seeing the Vi coming in for Pachynometris. It should be in the jungle, so it will be Gragas top. Kled into Gragas top, not the happiest matchup, but it can work. Ooh, Elise is covered.
Elise is spicy. That's a spicy pig if you're gonna go with RTBs. Yeah, that's
And it's locked
okay.
in.
This
Wow.
is either gonna be a snowball or dead. Kind
I
of game
agree.
I feel like, because Kled is no, that's a Kled mid lane, isn't it?
It can be Kled mid lane or Sion mid lane.
Okay.
They both function quite well, but it just depends on the matchup, I believe. So it's pretty much a flex. Elise provides a lot of well, it basically make your the other laner scared because it's
Yeah.
very easy to dive with Elise or to gank with Elise. So it basically is like there's like two waves stacking towards you. You're like, oh my god, are they gonna gank me?
Okay.
Orianna.
The thing is, you got Kled who's got set up for the Elise. You got Nautilus who's got set up for the Elise, and technically, if you say it like that, you could even say that Cyan also has a bit of setup for Elise because he has the slow and even the knock up.
Yeah.
So
you
this
don't need
is-
too much setup for Elise because
No, you
he
just
can close the gap quite easily.
it's literally just guaranteeing the cocoon to hit. So
Yep,
that's what it's all about.
Looking at the draft, I would say
I
Pachynometris
did not
is
see
a
that
lot
Orianna.
more- Ah, right.
Okay.
Orianna works quite well here, but I just think there are a lot of other champions that could
Yeah.
do the job. You can go for the Syndra, you can go for something like Azir Corki, anything that basically farms or pokes at a long range. Orianna, I'm not too big of a fan of, but it's a proven champion. I think
It is. It
It
is
might be
very much a
comfort.
proven champion, but also Victor and Azir also would be proven
Yep,
champions
yep,
in this
yeah,
case.
But it might be comfort. It might be comfort for the player. So
Of course. Why? Okay, this. I'm kind of wondering because PCN is team comp is like kind of pick based, on the side lanes with the Ashe, with the Gragas, with the Y. Vi probably having her main sight set on Kai'Sa, with Elise just being able to W out of it. Kled not really being the target. You want to kill you want to kill first because he just can get on Skull if he has enough enemies around, and also Cyan is just not gonna care. So I
agree.
think the only actual target for PCN to blow up, we have seen that today before, is Kai'Sa. It is the heaviest damage dealer out of the bunch, and Elise also does not scale this well, so they kind of
Yeah,
lack AP damage.
You can also pair it up with the command. What is it called? The command protect on Orianna. Bring the ball
Yes.
towards the Kai'Sa and then get a nice shockwave off. So that should be the ideal combo, but it gets harder.
I'm kind of starting to see the yes, let's kill Kai'Sa his squad on this, because its rel is will be able to jump in, then the Ashe or it actually either one of them can make the engage, or he just puts the ball on either like the Gragas jumping in or the Vi ulting. So and if you got the Nautilus or even the any other champion around, you can get a nice shockwave off it every time.
Yeah, I agree. I think PCN's comp is a lot easier to execute than Rassentillion boys. I think Rassentillion boys really need to get a Kled ahead. A Kled behind is a useless Kled. So I assume that Elise will be there to complement Kled to try to get a Kled ahead and snowball from there. Yeah, that's kind of the basic game plan. It seems like a Kled ahead is very hard to shut down because there's a lot of damage, especially if you go for the crit build on Kled. So I'm very excited to see how they're gonna play this.
There is not a lot of tankiness on the side of Pokemon Metros. So with the Cyan being paired up against the Gragas, those are probably just gonna end up trying to out-sustain each other. Elise, of course, probably having her sight on the bot lane, on the mid lane. Orianna kind of prone to get ganked in the early game with no damage, no real damage available, only the shield to get out. And
yeah, I highly suspect that Orianna will be taking the face rush just for that purpose.
yes.
And we will leave the rest for the game to play it ourselves. And
That
get
does
their break.
sound like a very, very good idea at this point. We'll be back in hopefully only 3 minutes. See you then. know it is, we're back to our last game of the evening. Rustin Tilly and the boys versus
Summoner's Rift.
Pakonometros. And Rustin Tilly and the boys seem to have, or for short RTB, seem to have opted for a top side invade. But have been spotted by the Space Jam.
Yeah, one common mistake is to stand in the strike rush if you're on the red side. If you stand there, you can't see the invade coming from the top side. But they are smart enough to not get cheesed by that invade. So it will be some dropping wards by both sides and a recall.
Minions have spawned.
Looking at the keystones, we see Ariana, as we were talking about, taking that face rush to be a bit more safe in the mid lane against the Kled. Kled also going for the Conqueror instead of the press the attack, which some Kleds do in the mid lane. And interestingly, Dark Harvest on Grey Fox on the Elise.
I've seen a lot of like especially in Kled top lane, like Lethal Tampa as well for the early trading. Because if you get into a longer fight, I guess you get your W procs, like your wild swings, I guess. What's it called? The ability you cannot activate yourself.
Yeah, the one that you cut people 4 times.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was called. Let me look. Let me jiggle my memory. So now that
Engage.
my memory jiggled. Oh,
Okay.
okay.
We have some action in the bot lane with Tesla engaging without a level 2, and then Tilly just deciding, yeah, I'll trade you right back for that. There's a Ghost and an Ignite invested into that, and nothing came out of it. Not really sure that, but for Tesla it was definitely worth it, being able to sustain back up using his pots.
Yeah, certainly not worth it in this matchup. Ooh, Jack Johnson getting a bit of a visit from Siavi.
But Grey
Does he
Fox
have
is
himself?
already there. Question is, are they gonna get Siavi?
Looks like there isn't any cooldown.
Kuhn goes
Doesn't
wide.
hit the
I think if that would have hit, they kill him.
The violent tendencies,
Violet him.
which is violent tendencies, is what
Yeah.
the Kled W is called. Allowing him to get the remount off a lot quicker. So if you don't know, every auto attack you do against the enemy will give you 15 courage, and
First
if you hit,
Oh!
ooh,
Oh!
we missed that.
Oh,
Totally.
that's I did not see that coming. Okay, that is on me in this case. I think I gotta watch that again back later. Because I feel like Edge Ninja underestimated Kled's damage in his small form. And also his ability to get back on Scar really, really quickly.
Yeah, because if you hit all the pellets on your Q, the Q is called. Let's see. I don't know what it's called.
Okay,
but
that's a Cocoon landing onto Edgy Ninja, and Elise is gonna pick that one up. Meanwhile, Siavi is just taking everything that is still up in the jungle and still seems to be a level down. So I guess after the invade on the top side, Grey Fox still Grey Fox is keeping this game really, really quick, and I like that. You gotta do that as an Elise, but I would love to see all of that action.
Yeah, that's very good. Because that's what Grey Fox needed to do to keep, well, basically to make the comp work. Because you really rely on getting ahead in your comp, using the early stats on Kled and, well, Nautilus, I guess. Complement with the Elise, get the early lead as Noble from there.
Tilly looking for Edgy Ninja in the mid lane. Still has his her flash on. Russen being left alone. Jackskeleton going in onto Edgy Ninja. Pull lands, but does not really matter. Tilly just there to tax some XP. Tesla moving up. Also Siavi is in the area. Tilly might be the problem. Grey Fox is joining the fight. Cocoon lands onto Edgy Ninja. No fatalities yet, and just some abilities and cooldowns traded, but nothing too major.
Yeah, good.
Grey Fox is actually back again. Cocoon goes wide, but Tesla is just gonna get taken down by Grey Fox. The auto attack will claim the kill. Cyan is having a very funny time. Top lane, that's a lot of damage on that. I did not expect that to deal that much damage.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Space Jam is going for the AP variant. Don't think that will be enough to poke out the not so reformed and before you run into mana issues. But still,
I'm kind of wondering why he doesn't have a tier yet. Because usually like full AP Gragas likes to build a tier and go
yeah,
for.
but I think it's because he got an early lost chapter, so that can be delayed for a little bit. I think. Not sure what that is. Is that what's exactly happened? But
I'm actually thinking that he would have gone for the Rod of Ages variant.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
Tilly spots out that pink ward, just gonna remove it. The RTB seems very aware of the fact that Kled sucks when he's behind. No action in the bot lane, even though Siavi is there. Just gonna recall. W lands on Tesla. That seems to be a Kraken Slayer on the Kai'Sa.
yeah, seems to be that way.
No static shift action yet.
Yeah, Tilly managed to hold the wave with the Nautilus shield as well, so which is a very good wave state for Russ and Tilly and the boys. Otherwise, we see Xiavi trying his luck top lane perhaps, but Sion is still quite high on health, and Grey Fox is also nearby.
Also, don't forget the there it is. I mean, I kind of feel like they sabotaged each other there.
Yeah, I think
Because the cask went out, but it could have been even worse if Cyan would have been launched towards his tower. But I think this is still not optimal.
I think it seems like a bit of waste of device time and both ultimate really trying for the Sion, who has already gotten really tanky. Especially when you're pairing it with Gragas, doesn't receive too much, and this Herald fight might be a fight.
No, I think Grey Fox is. There is the fight, and the Kled engaging onto Edgy Ninja and Space Jam. While Grey Fox is getting stunned up by the Vi and the Rel, there is no AD carry involved in all of this. Edgy Ninja running for their life away from the undead Cyan. That very nice cocoon onto the Orianna. Just gonna get and another Nautilus hook, and everybody will get out of that except for Not So Reformed, who gave his life for 3-for-1 trade. Wait, no, actually they also killed the Y, so it actually was 4 deaths.
Yeah, RTB clearly knowing the limits of the champion is very decisive in flashing, especially on the flash and the bear trap on the hook on the Kled, following up the cocoon. Also knowing that they can dive with the champions with Elise and Kled, it's basically free dice for them, being able to juggle the aggro a few times in the fight.
Yes, indeed. Meanwhile, Kai'Sa has picked up her Kraken Slayer, being up 2 kills and quite a bit of CS. Also, I think Rustin has picked up a plate, while top lane, while the fight around the Herald was going on. Kled is moving. He has spotted Vi in that street. Oh wait, never mind. It's not just a Kled. There's another fatality by the hands of Grey Fox and his Cocoon. Looking for Avantgarde. Actually, just gonna remove the blast cone, making sure nobody interrupts the taking of the dragon without walking onto any of the wards. Siavi's trying to trade back the Drake for 1 or 2 plates, and that is the shockwave onto the Kled. Getting taken down, but still kind of a disaster for fucking the Metros in this case, because Kai'Sa is able to pick up 2 more kills. Actually 3 from the early engage by Grey Fox onto the bot lane.
Yeah,
So
very, very good coordination by RTB. Knowing that, oh, never mind, looking at bot lane, there might be more action.
Grey Fox is back at it again, hits the Cocoon and almost just one-shots Avantgarde. Teleport has come in, Edgy Ninja is here, but also Jack Skeleton is on his way and the Kled ultimate is up. The hook lands onto Avantgarde, and yeah, there's the Kled ultimate. I feel like he will go to Edgy Ninja. Yeah. Bear Trap is not gonna hit, but Edgy Ninja will pay again for the 5th time in this game with the ultimate price, while Sion is just chilling top lane and Vi tries to farm up all of Grey Fox's jungle while being, well, quite surprisingly all the CS down.
Very, very good early game plan from RTB. Now securing basically a 6k gold lead. So hard for, like, in this early game, 6k means a lot. Like, it's basically 33%.
Sion is very, very tanky.
And Sion, yes, it's a perfect setup for to have Sion in the game as well. Like, you can do so much while being focused.
Jack Skeleton hits Bear Trap onto Siavi. Shockwave coming out. Rel is moving into the area. Magnustorm coming out as Jack Skeleton will be dismounted. Panini Tilly tries to get out. Grey Fox, luckily in the area, able to pick up 2 kills. And basically, and another one for Jack Skeleton. Just trading his skull for turret aggro. And that is basically an overall just a win for RTB in this case. Rossin
Yeah,
is still waiting in the bot side for Avantgarde. It seems like, oh, that was a very nice ultimate. And he's just gonna 1v1 kill the Ashe.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, it's
just,
so hard for.
there's almost a 10k goal lead at 14 minutes. I feel like we are watching any actual competitive team destroy some solo queue thugs in this case, because the difference in coordination is just monumental, but also different in like bot lane rotation, and it seems also mechanics is there. And on top of that, there is the suboptimal drafting by fucking Metros. Sion just gonna pick that one up with the unstoppable onslaught, I think it is. Unstoppable onslaught, yeah. Another nice shockwave onto Tilly and Jack Skeleton. actually, they will be able to take the Kled down, but now Rastin is in the area, and Ciavi is not able to continue his pursuit.
That's a very nice shutdown for Edgy Ninja. Being able to have that gold, that means he'll probably be able to complete the entries as soon as possible when he's back in the next phase. And that's very useful because that's the kind of like small wins that they need right now. Basically gives them a break when the opposing members are kind of like busy responding or taking objectives. They have some way to just farm up and get their items.
And while Puck and Metros are posturing towards and preparing for a dragon fight, RTB has just taken the Rift Herald. And I feel like every time I swap to Ciavi, they're just in Grey Fox's red side, trying to catch up in experience. Jack Skeleton just gonna throw at the ultimate, thinking he might get something, but Ciavi is just gonna Q over the wall. Not so reformed now on the bot lane. Pushing, already up on almost 3.7k HP. With only one item, you gotta remember. So that Sion is monstrously tanky. He's gonna go for the TP up to his tower.
And not get the cannon.
Not get the cannon, but they're gonna get the Drake. Question is he... No, he's just gonna go. He's just gonna farm the wave, do Sion things. Don't really care about anybody. Another shockwave onto Jack Skeleton to maybe take down the Kled, but I kind of feel like, even though Kled, you could argue that Kled snowballed his lane, like at least he tried to. He's not the driving force behind this team comp. It is definitely the Elise.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely.
And with that again, Grey Fox hits another Q onto Tesla. Rust comes flying in with the Killer Instinct. Jack Skeleton just gonna go back to his mid-wave, while the Rift Herald is being placed top lane by RTB. And
Yeah,
they
Herald
kind of
did
look
so
like
much
they want to
damage.
end the game. Another hook onto the Gragas, instantly getting blown up. Flash expended by Grey Fox for it. And another... That's... Has he... He has not missed that many... Cocoon, has he? Not so reformed, taking up the tower. Shelly, sadly, not being able... will not dance, at least this game. But that's one... That's actually a Nexus turret down. For Rustin Tilly and the boys. While Rustin is getting cut out by the shockwave.
Ooh, not in range to use the cease, but able to cancel Tilly's dredge line, and we'll take down Tilly.
Yeah, the first unfortunate death for Nautilus. I can see some pings coming out from Jack Skeleton. He's not happy that Tilly died there, it seems. Grey Fox defending his blue buff, realizes he cannot get there with the repel.
Ooh,
And the
getting
CC
off.
chain. Like I talked about how like technically Sion has a setup for the cocoon. Well, yeah, that's kind of right there. But it's not about not even close as reliable as, for example, a Dredgeline.
Interestingly, all the kills are on Edgy Ninja, but it just feels like Edgy Ninja takes too long to get strong, especially with this build.
Also, he seems to be the one who's been dying the most. Even though Tesla and Edgy Ninja both have 6 deaths, I feel like I've mostly been calling out Edgy Ninja's deaths. Probably because they're mid lane and Tesla is an engage support, but I think it's a nice fact.
I think it's just well, the Baron's gonna start it, and they're like,
That's
well, it's not gonna
very
get
dominant
contested.
Baron. Nobody's gonna contest it. They're just gonna pick it up, and I feel like they're just gonna try to walk into base.
Yeah, it seems the game is going to. It depends on the defense of this Baron buff. It's very hard for them to defend, especially with not all the members here.
The
Going
Cledald is coming out, like instantly goes up to Edge Ninja. Ash Arrow being fired does not do anything to stop the onslaught. Rasen takes down 2. I talked about how Kai'Sa has 3 builds. Yeah, he went for the one that does not involve W. So, a lot of DPS there. And that seems to be just the game.
Yeah,
A
great.
very, very dominant win by RTB after last week's more or less close game that also went on for a little too long, which was between Tribal and RTB.
Very good
you would-
showing by RTB.
It was a
especially-
very, very dominant game. It's a very
Yeah.
nice showing indeed.
Yeah, very very decisive in the execution as well, and then also, yeah, Grey Fox obviously doing a lot of the carrying. Jack Skeleton managing that first solo kill is so important as well because that took out Edgy Ninja's flash available. So basically making future plays a lot more easier. Obviously, Kai'Sa doing very well in the bot lane as well. So very good work by everyone. So it's just basically a very very dominant performance, as you say. Well done to RTB.
Well, yes, and with this, I think we have closed up all of the games for the night. I do not see any any how do you say, interview requests from Play Massive, so nobody gonna talk up here. We're done for tonight. Hope you had a good time. We definitely had a lot of fun casting. What did you think?
Oh yeah, it's amazing seeing all these teams. I've last seen you guys, I think, a few weeks ago. After having my vacation, coming back and see that the league is still very active and very a lot.
Yeah,
of
we're
good
still
League of
alive.
Legends being
We're
played.
still alive.
A lot of good League of Legends, especially. Well, I was very impressed by the early game comp from RTB, like the
Yeah.
Kled and the Kled mid. It's not something we see every day.
Yeah, indeed. And with that, I think we're gonna take our leave. EAL still has some ways to go with this season. Hope to see you next week again, same time. We're close to playoffs already, so games are gonna heat up. Also, we're gonna go into the best of 3s and best of 5s. So we're gonna have more teams trying to upset, run it back, get a revenge on teams they previously lost to. And I think that's it for tonight. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Cookie, for casting with me.
Thank you everyone for playing, and thank you for casting with me as well. And
Okay.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye bye.
Damon out.